and 2 out of 3 in Chicago.
Thanks, boy. Dave, thanks, boy. Thanks,
Statistically, especially in terms of shooting percentage, Michael Jordan has had better games. But when you consider at age 35, the games he's played this year, the grinding minutes he's played, and Scottie Pippen being all but incapacitated tonight, and the fact that they're on the road, and the fact that the odds would shift to Utah's favor for a Game 7, yes, MJ rose again. He no longer needs accomplishments to prove his case as the greatest player in NBA history. He just adds to it. And if this is the final chapter, what a way to close the book.
I tell you, Bob, as you look at Scottie Pippen there, I remember all Scottie ever heard about was the migraine headache and that he couldn't play with pain. Well, today, they could not have won this game without him. Just his presence being out there. He made some big shots. He fed the post. He did all the little things for Chicago, and his numbers aren't going to show it. But Michael, once again, with the heroics, the unbelievable plays. But his sidekick, Scottie Pippen, was there for him when he needed him.
And I'm watching Michael Jordan hug his mother right there. Such a great player, such a great person. Everything that this game is about, the goodness of it, he represents, and what he's done for the game of basketball and for this Chicago Bulls organization. All of us as former athletes are very thankful to 23 in red.
Michael Jordan is as great a competitor as sports has ever seen. He also has an uncanny sense of theater. And as he makes his decision, he'll think about the fact that he could not ask for a better punctuation than this. He accepts a victory cigar from Jerry Reinsdorf to not only hit the winning basket, but have it be the last shot he takes this season, maybe the last he'll ever take in a Chicago Bulls uniform, to win the game and the championship by a point.
You know, Bob, it's interesting about Michael Jordan. He's a guy who has nothing to prove, but lives his life every day as if he has everything to prove. That's something about his greatness. He's an unbelievable athlete.
One more look at a shot you'll be seeing hundreds of times if you're a basketball fan. You'll see it dozens of times on the highlight shows tonight. Stockton gets rid of it. It's short. Harper had a hand in his face and maybe even got a small piece of the ball.
I thought Stockton had a great look right there. It was a well-executed play. Stockton and Malone, and that's who you want taking your last shot, because he's made so many big shots for Utah. You know, my heart goes out to Stockton and Malone, because those two, more than any other two athletes in this era, really deserve a shot at wearing a championship ring.
A shot can hardly come much closer than that without going in. For the celebration, here's Dan Roberts, the PA man.
And now, please direct your attention to center court for the presentation of the 1998 NBA Finals MVP and the Larry O'Brien Championship Trophy.
It is now time to make the 1998 Championship Trophy presentation. Joining me up here are the chairman, Jerry Reinsdorf, Vice President Jerry Krause, head coach Phil Jackson, and to make that presentation, here's the commissioner of the NBA, Mr. David Stern.
The two best teams in the NBA this season were the Utah Jazz and the Chicago Bulls. These two teams in these finals, wonderfully matched and motivated, treated the world of basketball to NBA basketball at its heart-stopping best. To both teams, thank you. But to the Chicago Bulls, the 1998 NBA champion, and a team for the ages, congratulations to this team, to this organization, to its fans, and to these great players.
All right, Mr. Reinsdorf. Chicago Bulls fans all over the world would like to know, are you going to do everything you can possible to bring these guys back here to try to do this all over again?
Well, let me first, Ahmad, say that on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all around the world, it's an honor to accept this trophy. It's only unfortunate that we can't have co-champions, because this Utah Jazz team is just the greatest team that we've ever played. 2 years in a row, they took us as far as you could take anybody. Winning six championships in 8 years is unbelievable. It's a tribute to a great coach and his staff, great players, Scotty and Michael, an unbelievable performance by Scotty and Payne tonight, Jerry Krause and his staff, just unbelievable. And on behalf of millions of Bulls fans all over the world, I can only hope and pray that Michael and Scotty will come back and defend the championship one more time.
I take that as a yes. You are going to try to bring them back. Jerry Krause, you have to be very proud of this team.
I'm so proud of these players and the staff. And this is for the fans back in Chicago, the greatest sports fans in the world. And we're just so happy. We're going to celebrate safe, guys, and we'll be home tomorrow morning.
All right, Jerry, let me ask you, you do everything you can to bring these guys back.
Well, you know, tonight all I want to do is celebrate and have fun, and we're going to talk later on. But this is a great occasion. And what Jerry said about the Utah club, Jerry Sloan and Scotty Layden are special people, and this is just a great organization, and it's somebody that you're proud of that you can be with.
All right, Jerry, let's talk to Phil Jackson. Once again, another journey to the top of the mountain. How is this one different from the other 5?
Well, Ahmad, we had to fight our way through this one. This is a real struggle for us this year against overwhelming odds. Maybe not as talented as the last 2 years, but they had a great heart. Hearts of a champion, as Michael has said. They won it.
All right, you will celebrate tonight. Are you going to come back?
Gee, that's a great question, Ahmad. I'll dodge that one right now. Thanks.
All right, Phil. All right, once again, it is now time for the 1998 NBA Finals Most Valuable Player Award. And once again, here's the Commissioner, David Stern.
Big surprise. 6 championships, 6 MVPs. Michael Jordan, get over here. You grace us with your presence. You've contributed mightily to our league. And tonight you gave one of the singular performances in the history of the NBA Finals. Thank you and congratulations, 1998 NBA Finals MVP, Michael Jordan.
Michael, you have won this award before, but somehow I have the feeling that this one is more special than all of them.
Well, let me say hello to my wife and my kids at home, because they desperately wanted to come. I didn't want them to come here today because I wanted to focus on the game, but I wish they were here to help me celebrate. I know they're there cheering, and I can't wait to get home. But to the Utah fans, you guys are a tough bunch to play in front of. You guys came out with a lot of loyalty and respect for your team. You made it really tough for us. We really, after losing Game 5 in Chicago, a couple of us dread coming back to Utah because we had to deal with the fans because of the energy that they bring to the game. But we had no choice, so we had to come in and play our best, and you guys made it a very competitive finals, and you know, it's very worthy to win this, and I think of all the championships that we've won, this is the toughest.
It doesn't get any easier, but at the beginning of the season, this was the goal that you set out for. How wonderful was it to make this into a reality?
Well, I tell you, when you start the season, I'm pretty sure every team next year is going to start with the focus of finishing and winning their last game. We started with that focus. It was a long road, a lot of different tasks and little bumps in the road, but somehow we made it, and I think everybody who looks at this year is going to have a lot of gratification and understanding and a lot of dedication.
There were a lot of times during the course of the season that people doubted the Chicago Bulls, doubted that you'd be able to come back and pull this off. Even during this finals series here, people doubted you. How did you guys stay so confident?
Well, I mean, this team is one. Our leadership is strong. Our leadership is very positive, very determined, and it filters down to the rest of the players. And we never let anybody give up. You know, we believed in it, and we kept coming for it.
All right, I've asked everybody if they're all going to come around to try to do this again. One more time?
I would love for that to happen. I think that's something that's got to have to be determined over summer.
All right. Congratulations, Michael. Congratulations, Chicago Bulls. Let's go over to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Ahmad. Tonight, one of the truly gutty performances in the finals by Scottie Pippen. Scottie, how badly were you hurt? during this game?
Well, I was hurting pretty bad, you know, to start the game off. I was able to get a dunk when I came down. The pain just sort of built from that point, and every time I tried to run, I was getting spasms. But I knew I wanted to come back and try to give a better performance in the second half, so I just tried to take advantage of that little bit of time before the half and, you know, see what I can do. And I came out the second half, and Chip wanted to give me a little treatment, and I took the treatment, and I told him from there I was going to just try to gut it out. You know, I felt like that my presence out on the floor would mean more than just sitting in the locker room.
Initially, you didn't think you could come back, and then the miracle happened there at halftime. How much did you revert back to some of the things that had happened to you in the past, and you knew that if you gutted it out this time that it could change all of that?
Well, I knew I was going to come back the second half. I have to correct you on that. I knew, but I just didn't know how much I was going to be able to give. I knew I wanted to just hope that the team could stay in the game, keep it close, and if I could come back out, let my presence be known out on the court.
Now, Scotty, you were in tears after the game. Was this your most difficult championship, and why the tears this time? Is it maybe because you feel it's ending?
Well, I think they all have brought tears to my eyes, but this one was so difficult because, you know, I felt like to some degree without me being out on the court that I was kind of letting the team down, and they understood, but, you know, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a present. I wanted to play a major role in the game, but the other guys came off the bench, held us in there the first half, especially Michael. He had a heck of a game, and, you know, everything else is history.
Now, you hold the key here to these teams returning. Michael said if you come back, he'll come back, and Phil and so forth. What are your thoughts? Will you come back? Would you take a one-year deal? What will go through your thought process in making this determination?
Well, Jim, right now, I just have to, you know, let everything soak in. You know, there's a lot of opportunities out there for me, and, you know, I have to look more down the road at my future, but, you know, I don't know. You know, after all this is soaked in and get back and get my back on track, you know, you never know.
Is there a twinge of sadness with you, a little melancholy feeling right now that it may be ending?
Excuse me?
Are you feeling a little sad right now that this could be coming to a close?
No, not really. You know, we're going to enjoy this, and, you know, as long as we can. You know, as a player right now, I don't feel like it's over. You know, we got a lot of celebration to do, and I'm not really looking forward to next season right now.
Final thought, the Utah Jazz and Karl Malone, a spectacular effort. What would your thoughts be toward them?
It was great. You know, Karl and John, you know, they're some gutty performers. Whether it's Hornacek, Russell, who's grown and matured and, you know, had a fabulous series. You know, we take our hats off to this team. The fans here have really came out and made us work hard. You know, it was a great series. You know, it was an even better series than last series, even though, you know, both series ended at 6 games. This topped it all.
Scotty, congratulations. A truly gutsy performance.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back now to Bob Costas.
Thanks, Jim. To back up the accolades offered to Karl Malone by Scottie Pippen, Malone had 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in 43 minutes tonight. And even as they could not stop Scottie and Michael from claiming another title, Malone managed to average 25 points and 10.5 rebounds in the series. We'll talk with Karl Malone when we come back after this from your local station.
Congratulations, buddy. There he is, right there. There's the... It's a rugby scrum. It's unbelievable. This is a rugby scrum. Tim, all right, take it easy. We got to fight.
Destroy and hurt one another in this pack. Hey! Hey, Bulls! Bulls and the media still jammed here in the hallway.
Mark, it's probably calmer here in the city of Chicago than it is outside the locker room where you are.
Well, I would think so, but you have to expect this with over 1,400 media types trying to get...
Always great quotes from Phil Jackson, but as he was going through that huge crowd, he says, we're just glad to get out of here alive.
I think they were. I don't think they wanted to go to a 7th game with the Utah Jazz in front of their home fans. It was just wild out there. Let's go back downstairs to that tunnel just outside the Bulls locker room. Luke Longley right in front of the camera right now. Tim?
Well, we're down here somewhere. Luke Longley can't even get into the locker room. Luke, use your pull, buddy. Get me in with you. There we go.
And just moments ago, Jim Gray spoke with Karl Malone.
I'm here with Karl Malone. Karl, can you begin to explain the disappointment you must be feeling right here at the end?
Well, without a doubt, I'm disappointed. We fought hard. Guys did their best, did a good job. But, you know, it's tough. It's a tough loss for us. You know, Got to be a professional. Give them credit for it. They won the ball game.
Tell us about the last play, and Michael Jordan, he came over and stripped you of the ball.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you got the ball. That's fine. That's part of it.
Carl, you've been a truly great player, and you come so close now to the championship. Will you return? Will you keep trying to get to the top of this mountain?
Well, I'm not a quitter. I just got to get away for a while and think about things. But, you know, it's a tough one. It's a tough loss. Give them credit. They won. You know, what else can you say?
Do you feel as though this was Michael Jordan's last game?
I don't know. I don't know if it was Michael's last game or not.
Scottie Pippen in tears over here. You're not sure about Michael Jordan. What did Scottie just say to you?
Oh, no, he just told me good game.
Carl, you're a class act. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you.
Among the many things you can say in praise of Karl Malone, he has never ducked the media. Win or lose, he...
Soft drink can to the head. Phil Jackson was saying in the previous games that Utah fans were pelting them with coins. I can't believe that. You know, these Utah folks are supposed to be nice, gentle people.
Mark, it was really interesting, too. Dennis Rodman was very angry about a sign that went up when he was about to do a free throw or something, and he was the only one who was protesting, get rid of the sign to move the game along.
Well, I guess in the land of the Mormons, he got religion in a real hurry.
A side of Dennis we haven't seen before.
Yes, it was. And, you know, a lot of people...
Would you like to get everybody back together?
I would love to come back to Chicago. I mean, Chicago gave me my break. And, you know, I'd love to be back if they want me back, but we'd like to get the whole nucleus back and form a team and get one last dance.
Dennis, you had a great season. Congratulations to a great champion.
Yes, sir. Everybody in Dallas, way to go, baby.
All right, back to you, Bob.
Ahmad, thanks very much. Much more to come. On the post-game show, we'll go into the locker rooms when we come back to the Delta Center in Salt Lake City right after this. In 6 games, a 6th championship for the Chicago Bulls. Back to Utah after this.
Announcing the new Miller Lite Scratch and Sniff Fantasy Sweepstakes. If you can smell it, you can win it.
It smells like beef.
Smell beef and win 400 pounds of red meat.
You tiresome fool, it's obviously suntan oil.
Smell suntan oil and you win the grand prize. Be an extra on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit shoot.
Hi, Jimmy.
Score! Tell me about it.
See special displays for details.
You were born to ride. You are the ruler of the road.
Hey, well, it's my turn.
Wish you had a Harley? Come to any Napa Auto Parts store during our Great American Sweepstakes for a chance to win a Harley-Davidson Super Glide and a ride across America with Kyle Petty. Or win one of 8 vacations. It's all part of the Great American Sweepstakes and sale, only at Napa.
You were born to ride.
Napa Silver oil filters as low as $1.99.
How could you tell what a home is worth? Is it what you could get for it today? Or something more enduring? Is it about a cozy porch? Is it a nice yard? A comfortable living room? Or is it better schools, safer streets, the feeling of security? You see, when you own a home, you're not just building a brighter future for your family. You're building a brighter future for all of us. For a free guide that can help you on the path to home ownership, call the Fannie Mae Foundation.
For anyone who's ever worked overtime on their nails. For anyone who's ever worked with a guy like this. Or had to listen to this woman talk about her cat. For those who have slept with their eyes open, we bring you Working, just like your job, only funnier. NBC, Wednesdays.
As we return to the Delta Center, we're waiting to get access to the locker rooms. And in the meantime, let's go to the Showtime crew headed by Hannah Storm. Happy birthday, by the way, Hannah.
Thanks a lot, Bob. I think that was a very important detail we needed to cover at this point. But we'll get some final thoughts from you, Doug, and Isaiah in just a few moments.
And I tell you, if that went a little too much, I'm sure the police would have gotten in there and stopped that. It has temporarily stopped, but every once in a while, you'll see somebody lifted on their backs and be carried a few feet, and then down they will go. Just for a little point of view, we are situated just to the east of this area. This again is barricaded between Dearborn and State, and most of the news media is off to the east here and nowhere near the crowd, which is a very smart thing, because lighted cameras are a dangerous thing in a crowd. We'll come back and show you some more a little later. Back to you, Steve and Allison.
Okay, thank you very much, Jackie. We'll be checking back. I'm sure as that crowd...
Champagne. Chicago Bulls are world champions once again. Say it, world champions. Put it in bold type. Check the print tomorrow in the Chicago Tribune, the Chicago Sun-Times. The long playoff run, nearly 2 months, is now history as the Bulls defend their crown. The three-peat is in business. All right, Scottie Pippen in the first half. Nice move by a man who was playing hurt.
Yes, he was. I don't know what the report was, what was going on. I was sitting at home before I got in here and it was going, well, what happened to his back? What went down? But nonetheless, I like the ball movement at this particular time, and Michael Jordan still rearing him up. Didn't have a great shooting first half, but man, he was the only one really with some offensive surge along with Toni. But Malone was hitting shot after shot, Chet, on some tough shots at this. But I think this man has stepped up to prove he's not a loser. I don't dare anyone in Chicago to say this guy's a loser. No, this man definitely played his basketball games, definitely stepped up, but you're playing the Chicago Bulls. Indeed, what a move right here. And Chet, before this sequence, you should have seen the battle going on with these two guys. And I know on the other channel, NBC showed it. They were throwing elbows, they were doing everything, and Michael got it. This is where Michael's fatigue came in, but he paced himself so beautifully during this game to remain strength-wise able to get the job done down the stretch run. And I got to say, Phil Jackson or Michael, whomever got this done, the right time and some crucial times Michael took his break as he played 43 minutes. But man, he was the only one really on the offensive end with Toni a little bit here and there. But that's
We're going to do it tonight. All right, and your sister's here. Yeah, I'm Connie.
This is the toughest one that we got so far, but it's the sweetest one. Especially before early in the series, they said we are underdogs. When we lost at the last game in Chicago, they said we have no chance coming in here, but we're still the champs.
You managed to step up your performance in this championship series. You've taken a lot of criticism. How personally satisfying is it for you to have that now behind you?
It's very satisfying for me. That's the way we Croatians are, the survivors. And we're trying to do the same thing, just trying to play my best every time I step on the court.
You are one of the few guys who definitely will be back here next year. What are your thoughts on this team remaining intact?
If I can, if it's my decision, I will leave this team until it dies. I mean,
you think that will happen?
It's a great team. I hope it does. I hope it does. There's no reason to split the team that is winning, that is doing an incredible job on the court.
Phil closed the locker room here for about 7 minutes. What was it that he said to you guys as you all huddled together privately?
Nothing. It was just our own celebration.
What now? What do you think the timetable will be? There's a possible lockout looming now. What do you think the timetable will be for the return of Phil Jackson and then Michael and Scottie?
Nothing we can do. Just wait and hope that it's going to end up being good.
Toni, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
All right, now let's send it back outside to Bob Costas.
Come on.
Jim, thanks again. There's more to come from Salt Lake City. We'll have more.
Okay, we've got something at the podium, so we'll go there.
Those things in reverse. All the sideshows that go on outside are more
In
important.
the NBA, Michael Jordan. And if he says Scottie and Phil come back, then they may be back.
Okay.
Dan Roan got now out in Salt Lake. Dan?
Well, thanks, Allison. John Paxson joins me. How was it calling one, Pax, as opposed to shooting one and winning it in Phoenix?
It was still pretty exciting. I mean, Michael, what can you say about him? I mean, he was remarkable, and what a finish. I mean, who knows what's going to happen, but what a way to end this series.
If you had to script it, you had a pretty good idea what was going to happen, though, and who was going to have the basketball.
Well, you know what? He had to assume so much of the burden tonight.
I don't care about me. I will care about my boy Scottie, and I want him to feel good, and I want Chicago to feel good.
And Ron, with all that adversity, you guys are always able to pull that out, and that's kind of the sign of this team, isn't it?
And we came out today, and somehow we hung in the ball game, and I think that was the key.
That's number 6. What are you going to say to Jerry Reinsdorf to make 7 a shot?
Hey, if Jerry don't know about that, he will never know if he don't want this team. I'd have stayed in bed.
With you sick and Pip having the problems you had, did you ever think you had a chance? I mean, really, the way the game was progressing.
He'll fight in our main event in one professional bout, Aquino. 4 rounds, junior welterweight. Victor Miller from the Bronx in New York has fought once in each of the last 3 years.
I caution you again, protect yourself at all times. Good luck, and may the best man win. Touch gloves. Have a nice fight, gentlemen.
All losses, as we mentioned, and there is Julio Aquino, has a third-round knockout in September of 1997 in his only pro fight against Derek Filson in Lyndhurst, New Jersey. The notable name on Miller's resume, he made his pro debut in December of 1996 against United States Olympian Terrence Cawthon and lost a 4-round decision. He has been knocked out by Sean Knight in a 5-round fight, and in May of this year lost a 4-round decision to Ogunto Franco.
For Miller, who's 31 years old, it's the time to get more active and hope that the activity will help him going here. That's what he has to stay in there for.
Dave, how difficult is it for boxers who are in the dressing room in what are these swing bouts, 4-round bout, you know, on a moment's notice?
Asked in the press conference was, what did you say to Michael when you went over to him? And he said, you shouldn't leave the game of basketball. You're too good. Don't leave us just yet. And here's the competition. You know, for all intents and purposes, he wants the guy to get out so the Jazz can win a title.
Right.
But he wants him to stick around. And Sloan's made the comment over the past week that he thinks it's just a travesty that they're going to break up what's been built here in Chicago. But I thought it was a nice gesture on Jerry Sloan's part. But we've all known all along that the guy is just a class act.
Yes, Sloan definitely is. And Jordan...
Phil Jackson told us earlier tonight the Bulls have given us a remarkable story, and if indeed this is it for Michael Jordan and this incarnation of the Chicago Bulls, at least tonight they authored an ending of their own choosing. Let's send it back to Bob Costas.
Hannah, thanks very much. Guys, final thoughts?
Well, Bob, congratulations to the Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan, the greatest player ever, and a privilege and an honor for me to be able to be a part of this and watch both of these teams fight it out. But Chicago is just fabulous, and congratulations once again to them.
Zeke?
I'd like to say congratulations to Chicago also. Michael Jordan is truly the greatest of our time. No other athlete could have done what he did this year, sustaining his concentration despite doing everything that he wanted to do with all the distractions. Just great, great, great performance by Michael Jordan.
Guys, thank you. It's been a pleasure. Zeke, Doug. Well, for Bulls fans, there is, of course, cause for celebration tonight after a 6th championship that came harder than the others. But there's some anxiousness mixed in as well. Who knows how all of this will play out, but it's certainly possible that tonight we saw the last of the Chicago Bulls as we have known them. And whether it ends here or sometime in the near future, it'll be noteworthy not just for the breakup of one of the great teams in sports history, but because given the present structure of pro sports, it may be quite a while before we see anything like this again. Oh, the organizations that have the resources, the Yankees, the Braves, the Cowboys, the Lakers, and the NBA, will almost always field contending teams. But the days of continuity may be ending. Even on the best teams, there's now so much turnover that it's becoming ever harder to follow and identify with teams. Loyalty has been fragmented, which brings us to an underappreciated aspect of this golden era in the NBA. It hasn't just been Bird, Magic, and Michael. It was the whole recognizable cast of characters around them that gave the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Bulls their texture and made following them all the more interesting. Even the Jazz, noble runners-up 2 years in a row, are personified by the longest tenured coach in the league and 2 Hall of Famers who have been teammates for well over a decade. We'll see championship teams in the future, but will we see teams that endure this way? And as for Michael Jordan, all the superlatives have been exhausted and almost all apply. But perhaps the most important one is this: he's authentic. His essence is so much deeper than image. In fact, the image is, in his case, an amplification of something true and substantive. Take all the money, all the adulation, all the TV cameras away, and put Michael Jordan in a gym somewhere with Russell and Oscar, West and the Doctor, and he'd be as genuine and as much in his element as any of them. His heart and his athletic integrity every bit as impressive as his artistry. So whenever it ends, it's been an incredible ride for Jordan and the Bulls, and we at NBC have been privileged to be taken along for that ride. So as we say goodnight, we'd like to acknowledge the work of all the people who made these telecasts possible. For everyone at NBC Sports, good night from Salt Lake City.
Every decade has its Olympic moments. And for the next 10 years, they'll happen only on NBC.
TV Chicago. This is News Channel 5 at 10.
They are the crowned champions. The Bulls rule the basketball world. And now it is a night to celebrate success as Chicago clinches the NBA title for a 6th time. Tonight, a city stands in awe as the Bulls defend the dynasty and walk away world champions once again.
Listen and enjoy, Chicago. It's Lucky 6 in Salt Lake. Game number 6 leads to championship number 6 as the Bulls survive a scare in Utah to take the trophy. And as the world has come to expect, it was the moves of Michael Jordan that sealed the championship.
And ladies and gentlemen, you are looking live at Division and Rush Street, where a very happy Bulls fans have once again jammed the streets of Chicago.
This is the night to celebrate success. The Bulls take it all, giving Chicago another NBA title. Let's go live to John Kelly at the Delta Center in Salt Lake City. John?
Allison, we're out in front of the Bulls locker room where they're just starting to let people in. It is a madhouse out here. The Bulls pulled off with a 1-point victory, and if this is the Bulls' final run, how apropos that Michael Jordan leads the way. This is the stuff that legends are made of. Michael Jordan struggling, comes down.
Time comes where I got to walk away. I hope that because I walked away, no one will look at me any less, you know, and sure, the economy may take a different turn, but I would advise you to invest wisely. And, you know, my life has to continue. You know, hopefully I put enough memories out there for everybody to at least have some thoughts about what Michael Jordan did in his 13 years or 14 years or whatever it takes, and put some comparisons up there for kids to follow and compare themselves and reach, you know, and that's a part of the challenge. And, you know, I have another life, and I know I have to get to it, you know, at some point in time, and hopefully the fans and the people understand that.
Michael, you said last week that this was the toughest year for Coach Jackson as a coach. What about you as a player?
It was tough, you know, it was tough in the sense that I was more competitive than I ever was because I wanted to win more than I ever did, you know, because of some of the bumps in the road, you know, Scotty being out. You know, Dennis, you know, had to step up, and every now and then we had to, you know, deal with Dennis and deal with the different types of expectations, you know. The bigger picture, you know, which is tonight is the biggest picture we could think of. And sure, sometimes the pictures don't look so clearly, but if you keep moving in the right direction, it's going to clear itself up, and tonight is very, very clear.
Michael, you just won your 6th championship with Scotty and Coach Jackson. As a man who lives as a player who lives of challenges, how much is a challenge is it for you to win one without them?
Pretty sure it's a major challenge, you know. But the question is, do I want to do that or not? You know, that's the things that has to be debated over the summer.
Michael, how frustrating it is, or at least annoying, to have to talk that much about your future tonight?
Say that again?
How frustrating, or at least annoying, is it to have to talk that much about your future and the future of the team tonight?
It's not annoying. I mean, most people have been waiting for that, and you know, my answer is, I mean, there's still a lot of unanswered questions, and tonight it's a lot of sympathetic feelings about, you know, this team and where we want it to go. But as time, you know, it gets involved, I mean, some of the feelings may change. You never know. But I think that's the purpose of waiting to the end of the summer, or in the summer, and making final decisions.
Michael, the other night, you seemed so intrigued by the thought of, you know, dropping the last 3 and possibly walking away. The fact that you played such a great last minute and had a game-winning shot, title-winning shot, is that going to, you know, do you like the idea of going out that way?
Yes. If that's the case, yes. I mean, when I got that rebound, sure, I mean, my thoughts are very positive, you know, and the crowd gets quiet. The moment starts to become the moment, you know, for me. When you're there, things start to move slowly. You start to see the court very well. You start reading what the defenses are trying to do. And I saw that. I saw that moment. And, you know, when I saw the moment, the opportunity to take advantage of it, when Russell reached, and I took advantage of that moment. And I never doubted myself. I never doubted the whole game. We were hanging too close. You know, it was a 3-point game, 4-point game. 5-point game. You know, Scottie Pippen's hurt. Dennis and everybody's in foul trouble, and they never really burst out and left us standing. You know, and we kept hanging in there, and I knew that we were going to have an opportunity to win this game, and I just wanted to be able to do
hit that three-pointer. You scored the last 4 points. You actually scored the last 8, but you scored the last 4 on baskets. Talk about those last 2 baskets, your layup and then the jumper. And did that jumper remind you of last year, Game 1, with Brian guarding you? He reached, you went.
It was in a very similar situation. The play before that was, with Karl Malone, and he never really cleared, which gave me an opportunity to go back. And Karl never saw me coming, and I was able to knock the ball away. The play before that was when Phil called an isolation play for me, to take it to the hole and make him foul me or get an easier basket, which is what I did. But when I got the ball, I looked up and I saw 18.5 seconds left, and I felt like we couldn't call a timeout because it gave defenses an opportunity to set up, and it was a do-or-die situation. So I let the time tick to where I felt like I had the court right where I wanted to, and Stockton was on the right-hand side with Steve Kerr. I knew he couldn't gamble because Steve has killed him before. So, I mean, and as soon as Russell reached, he gave me a clear lane, which, I made my initial drive, and, he bit on it, and I stopped, pulled up, and I had an easy jump shot. Great look, and, it went in. And once it went in, I knew from that point on we've been hanging around long enough. This is a game-winning basket. Now it's just a matter of playing solid defense. And our defense has held us strong all series, and we would never be in this scenario without our defense. So all we had to do was play defense for 5.8 minutes, 5.8 seconds, and I knew we can do that.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
That's my
Next
dog
up, we'll
friend.
have Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper.
Well, there's the man of the hour, Michael Jordan. He has been the rock and the center of this team all through these 6 championship runs. That's right, 6 now. We're inside the Bulls locker room. Michael Jordan, 45 points. Toni Kukoc has also been a key during this series. Let's jump in here and try to get Toni live.
Any feelings towards the team, towards everything that happened?
For yourself?
For myself, it's just great.
Y'all go and get Scotty.
Can you talk a little bit about how much pain you were in, and there was a tight shot of you embracing Jordan at the end of the game and crying, and this performance and where you think it's going to rank right up there with Michael's?
I think, the Jazz gave me the easy shot that really worked against me at the start of the game. I got that dunk, and from that point on, I just started to feel spasms in my back as I run every time I put my right leg down, and I just tried to gut it out and was able to get 6-7 minutes in the first half, and after I told Phil to take me out the game, it was just very difficult for me. I tried to run in and back and do whatever I could, and I just decided at that point that I would just take as much treatment as I could and try to go out and do what I could the next 24 minutes, hoping that, some type of presence out on the court could make a difference, open up some opportunities, and, I just did my best. But I have to give credit to my teammates. They came out and really held it together in the first half. Michael really put the scoring load on his shoulders and, just did what he could, and, he had an outstanding performance. It was a great team win, but you can't overlook what he's done for this team, especially in today's game.
Scotty, for years, your courage had been questioned by people in Chicago and elsewhere. The migraine headaches, the 1.8 seconds. Is it important to you that this performance changes people's minds about your courage and toughness?
Not exactly. I just wanted to get this series over with. I want the team to stay close and allow me the opportunity to come out and give my best 24 minutes, make my presence known, and try to be effective any way possible. I think I have great knowledge of the game and knowing what I could do and a lot of things that I could not do out there, but I don't reflect on those things. I just try to go out and play for my teammates and give the best performance that I can and try to come away to win. I didn't want to be looking at a Game 7 knowing that I'm not 100% and we're pretty much having our backs against the wall playing on their court.
Scotty, last year Michael sat at the podium and talked about how important it was to bring everyone back for one more year. Even with what you said at different times during the season, wouldn't you like to do one more year and forget rebuilding, maybe sign a one-year deal? Is that a possibility?
I'm not thinking about that right now. Give me a couple days and I'll give you an answer. But And now I just want to enjoy this moment and, you know, get myself feeling good again physically. I have to just sit back and enjoy this moment, and, you know, I'll just see what's going to happen. You know, anything is possible.
Next question.
Scotty, you know Michael as well as anybody, certainly as a competitor, and as he considers his future, at some point his physical skills will decline. We know that it has to happen.
They haven't declined yet, so I can't agree with that.
Do you think at some point he could accept playing without being the most dominant player in the sport?
No. No, not at all. I mean, Michael has probably got another 5 years left on his career. I mean, even before we can even see a decline in it. I mean, because he has so much knowledge of the game. There's other things that, you know, he knows that is waiting in his game that he can always pull out. And right now we're seeing him probably at the top of his game because he used so much knowledge as well as the physical skills that he has when he's out on the court.
Scotty, I know you don't want to talk about your future particularly, but if this was the end of this particular Bulls group...
Who's talking?
Right here. If this is the end of this group of Bulls being together, how great a run was it, in your opinion?
Wonderful. Tremendously. I mean, it's unforgettable. I mean, it's something that I'll be able to look back and cherish for the rest of my life, you know, to be able to win 6 titles in the last 8 years. It's been a great run for us. It's been a lot of fun, a lot of celebrations, and I can never see any other team in the future being as dominant as this ball club has been. And, you know, you hate to see it come to an end, and you don't want
back injuries, the spasms that made running up and down the floor difficult. You know, and...
Yes.
Oh, no. Let him go down with
Ron,
because he doesn't make the ball anyway, so let him go ahead.
For Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, judging by the press conferences, was almost hilarious after the 2 games you lost. How much of a factor was it with his leadership helping you getting by those defeats?
Well, you know, here's a guy that does a lot for our basketball team, and without his sad part there, early during this ball game, he was the guy who was holding us there, and he came in during halftime, and he felt that we still had this basketball game, and the main thing that he said was for us to go out there and to give him some help, and once his sidekick came back, it was just one game that we hung in there, and we had a very good chance of, and it was a very great ball game, and our hat goes out to him, to the guys on this basketball team. It was a very great win for our team.
Ron, do you feel like with this series in particular that you're finally getting the recognition you deserve?
I don't care about that. You know, when I first came in this league, everybody said he can shoot the ball and do this last and do this slam dunk. All them things don't mean anything. This is my 3rd championship, and if I would have to change my game again, I would probably change it again, I think.
Scotty, over here. Scotty.
Yeah.
What exactly was your injury, and how did it happen?
Took too many charges from Karl Malone.
You were down the club too long.
Yeah, I took a lot of hard falls, you know, not just in this series, but this is something that's probably going back even far as the Indiana series. You know, just getting thrown to the floor, and I had a very sore back. I just lost a lot of my mechanics for its moving out on the court and being aggressive and coming over and attacking, and you know, I felt like that was something that affected us in Game 5, that I didn't have the energy, the mobility to be aggressive from a defense standpoint, and as well as offense. I settled for a lot of jumpers, 0 for 7 from the 3-point line, 2 for 16 from the, looking back at a lot of the tape of that game.
I actually don't know. I mean, you know, I'm not gonna think about what if and what's going to happen to this basketball team. I'm gonna just enjoy these next few days, this offseason. I'm gonna enjoy, and I'm gonna wait to see what happens to my best friend on this team, and hope whatever happen for him, because you know he been a great teammate, and he was the one who called me to be here, and if he want to be a Chicago Bull to be on this team again, it's up to him. To my man Scotty, and if he don't want to be a Bull, I'm gonna be cheering for him anyway.
Okay, last question.
Okay, Ron, you had great defense on Stockton this game and throughout the series. Talk about the three-pointer that he made and the three-pointer that he didn't make and that class.
Well, you understand. He's the kind of guy who runs his team. He has the basketball all the time, man. Everything goes through his hands. And last year, I didn't have fun. This year, I for sure said that I'm going to have fun. I'm going to do the things that I know that I can do. I use my size on him, and I just have fun out there. And the shot that he made was a very, very tough shot. And the last shot that he didn't make, I was relieved, put it that way. See y'all.
Okay, thanks, guys.
He played in pain, but he becomes a champion.
Everybody's happy, and if everybody can be happy once again, I'm all for it. If everybody can't be happy, then I think it would be a mistake to make things happen.
You know, your legacy speaks for itself. Now, where does the Chicago Bulls team rank with 6 championships all time as you look at the historical perspective?
Well, I can't really, I mean, Boston's won so many. You know, to say that we're better than the Boston team is kind of difficult because we played in a different era. But I know one thing, we've set a certain standard for this era. And it has to be one of the greatest teams in this era, along with the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers won 5, we won 6, so that gives us an advantage.
Michael Jordan, you have a statue, perhaps Mount Rushmore is next for you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy it. Have a great summer. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Let's head back to Atlanta.
17 seconds. 17 seconds. From game 7, or from championship number 6. Open. Chicago wants the lead.
Let's send it out to Stockton.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he made a couple big plays right down the stretch, and you know, mark another one in the books for him.
John, you guys literally got robbed out of 5 points on 24-second mistakes by the referees. Does that add to the regrets? Was it already weighing on you guys during the game, or was it forgotten immediately?
You have to play through those things. I think things like that.
Right, baby. That's what it means right now. That's what it means.
Speaking of coming back, how can you break this team up now? You've got 6. I know everybody's here just chomping at the bit for that shot at number 7. I mean, what's the thinking on the team?
I think the thing on the team is where we're going to enjoy this for the next 3 or 4 months, and hopefully that the NBA strike won't lock everybody out. And if it does, you know, we just got a lot of time to think about it, and hopefully that the Chicago Bulls and the organization will say, hey, let's try it one more time. Just one more time, and to call it quits, the farewell tour.
You've been a part of this organization now for 3 years, 3 titles. What makes this team so special? I mean, the guts and things we don't see on the court all the day.
Thank you very much. Earlier, we were talking with Carmen Electra here in the locker room partying, and Jim Rose talked with her boyfriend just a few minutes ago.
Well, I think that the referees in the league would expect us to roll over and die tonight.
I think we've had enough of Bill Wennington for one season.
Hey, Harry, I'm coming to get you back in Chicago. I'll be there later.
John Stockton's at the podium. Let me clean up, will you? Thanks so much.
And he couldn't make any points of it.
Flying every which way. How's that trophy look to you there, Steve?
The trophy, you know what? Trophy can't compare to what's inside, I'll tell you that.
Can you try to put that into words, the feeling inside to win again your 3rd time?
It's almost impossible to put it into words. It's just, you know, I don't know if people realize how difficult it is to go through a season like this, let alone 3 straight seasons. We've played over.
Lead at 50. Pride and joy of Gonzaga. There is Johnny Stockton.
The last one I don't think you ever hear anybody shoot the last shot that says I didn't think it was in, but I certainly did. When it came out, that's pretty much it. That's where a shot's supposed to be. It's an option. It doesn't have to be where it comes from or anything like that. I felt confident shooting it. I think most guys felt comfortable with the shot, although I didn't ask them. I didn't poll anybody. And it just didn't go in.
Okay, we'll take 2 last questions.
Okay, John, here. There's a whole generation of great players that are playing at the same time as Michael Jordan. Is it frustrating, I mean, coming up losing? I'm not talking about emotions. I mean, the whole generation, if you have anything, I don't know.
I'm not following your question.
How does it feel, I mean, playing in the Jordan effect, okay? I mean, do you feel like you've been made losers because of playing at the same time as you?
No.
John, can you just simply offer some appreciation of Michael, if in fact, this might have been the last one, it might not, but you've played against him all these years, just an appreciation of him.
Well, it won't be his last one. I think it's been a nice story for everybody here, but he's not quitting. He'll be back, and Scotty will be back, and Phil Jackson will be back. I'm tired of hearing all that. But it worked for him, so give him credit.
Okay, thanks, John.
Thank you.
John Stockton, always some interesting comments, even if he's a man of few words after the game.
Well, how about it? I mean, this is your first year watching Michael Jordan. I mean, this must be a dizzying experience to see what this man can accomplish.
It's not my 5th year watching him, or 4th year watching him, but I'm glad to be on the same team as him for the first time. And it's amazing what he could do and how hard he works and how much he deserves this championship. Stage one. Legs, stage one. Okay, I knew Johnny would get it. Legs. He saved one. He's talking to someone. How excited are you for the husband? Came out here tonight.
Happy that we flew in today. We were flying out tonight, and this is the only game we were going to be able to go to, and we're so happy to go home. I mean, it was like worth it.
And you got champagne. Your guys smoking cigars.
We're having a great time.
Steve, talk about it. You've been excited, been able to step up and make some clutch shots tonight. It all came to a head in dramatic fashion.
But tonight it's no shots. No shots.
Here we go.
We can't even celebrate the championship without her taking a couple of personal jabs at me.
Honey, are you there?
This is what championships are about, sharing it all. And tonight to happen the way it did, that had to just
It was great. Margot and I actually scored the same number of points tonight. So you did a great job, honey. And we had the same number of rebounds, too. Hey, no, I had a couple assists, I mean.
Sure you did.
Oh, these two have been battling all year. See, that's a loving, caring relationship. A little bit of business, what the team's been through off the court, even tonight. Scotty's hurting. Ron Harper, bad stomach. Michael Jordan struggles for a while, but steps up. You guys just have to feel like you're writing history book after history book.
Well, it's a good thing we won tonight because Scotty was... he was really hurting out there, and
all right, JR on tape, JR live, because he's all over the court like Michael Jordan almost.
Yeah.
He's now with a man who really played for
State
him.
Police helicopter, for some reason, is here at Archer and Cicero. We're not sure if something more serious is going on, but we can't see.
It's something you just can't teach somebody. I think you just have either you have it or you don't. Michael's got it, and he's got it in bucket loads. Coming on with that back injury and suffering from that stiff back. Got shots earlier in the week.
And I know that Jeff Horner.
Welcome to the Sports Center Hardware Store. Michael and the Bulls yearning to add to their trophy shelf. Utah has all sorts of room on its mantle. The champs would have to overcome some damaged goods. On the pitch, players sacrifice bodies, not to mention heads, as the chase for the world's ultimate piece of hardware spun on. Hardware could be found on the diamond as well, but the preferred piece of equipment was made of leather. He spalls out and holds on. Others dealt with malfunctioning bats, or was that a malfunctioning wedge? Let no obstacle interfere with the pursuit of your prize. Don't blink. Sports Center's coming next.
Hey there, welcome to Sports Center, along with Kenny Mayne.
I am Rich Eisen.
And we're not even going to try with this part. All other sporting matters are back page. Bulls, Jazz, let's go.
With dispatch, Kenny. Off their Game 5 victory, without question, the Utah Jazz were in serious one-game-at-a-time mode, and can you blame them? Because if they peeked at the larger picture, they'd get out of focus over their daunting task, having to beat Michael Jordan 3 straight games, an occurrence MJ has not allowed since November of 1990, and the Bulls have a penchant for closing in Game 6s. 4 of their last 5 titles have been clinched in that game. To Salt Lake we go, where Michael was sweating, chewing gum. Scotty earlier in the day stretching his lower strained back, and for good reason, because you'll see off the dunk, first points of the game, he's wincing, running back up court. He aggravated it, and just minutes later, aggravates it more off the tough jump hook in traffic. He goes down in the play, and he would leave the court, heading back to the locker room. Karl Malone, however, stuck around. Later in the first quarter, tied at 22, time running down, bucket, the foul, Malone, 20 first half points. Meanwhile, back in the locker room, Pippen getting checked out. He would not return in the first half. From backs to backsides. Right back at you, tough guy. Second quarter, Jazz up 4. Jordan takes the pass. Nifty fake, and Shandon Anderson. Jordan matched his uniform number in the first half. That would be 23. Bulls down 49, 45 at the half. After halftime, Pippen returned, but with a noticeable limp. And then a little Olivia Newton-John action. We're getting physical. Jordan, Russell, banging bodies down low. That was nothing compared to this. Malone and Rodman down on the floor. These two will be in the ring soon for some foolish made-for-TV wrestling event. Getting a little glimpse. You don't even have to pay for it. Well, it is cable. Anyway, later in the third, Jazz up 2. Pippen inside. It's no good, but there's Rodman for the tip. Tied at 59, but Pippen in pain. He'd go back to the locker room again, but would return in the fourth quarter with the Bulls down 3. Turnaround jumper in the lane. He hits it. Pippen finished with 8 points in 28 minutes. We are tied at 77. Minutes later, Malone, open jumper. He nails it. He had 31. Jazz up 2. Bulls next possession. Shot clock winding down. Ron Harper, did he beat the buzzer? Refs say yes. Everyone in the Delta Center said no, but we're tied at 79 regardless. Jazz up 2 with 2:40 remaining. Stockton to Malone, who hits it. Jazz up 4. We're tied at 83 with 46 seconds left. Stockton, huge 3, and hits it. Jazz up 3, but that is when it is Michael Jordan time with 40 seconds left. Off the timeout, quick bucket. Blows by Russell. Bulls down 1. Jazz next possession. Malone on the box down low, but look who comes weak side and slaps it away. Jordan with the huge steal. One last chance. Phil Jackson does not call timeout. With 12 seconds left, Jordan for the championship, for his 6th ring. He hits it with 5 seconds left. A 15-foot jumper, just like in Game 1 of last year's final. Creates space on Russell, fires away, and just flat out nails it. Bulls up 1. 5 seconds left. Last chance for the Jazz. It's John Stockton. From the top of the three-point arc, no good. And the Chicago Bulls win the NBA championship. Their 6th title in 8 tries, and Malone once again comes up short. Jordan and Jackson getting one for the other thumb, if you will. Pippen and Jordan embracing. Is this Michael Jordan's last game? Well, Jordan with 45 points on this night, on 15 of 35 shooting, picking up the slack with Pippen in obvious pain, and he sandwiched a clutch weak side steal on Karl Malone with 2 huge clutch buckets, as you saw, including the game winner. Malone scored 31 points on 11 of 19 shooting and averaged 25 points per game in this series. Now that this business of winning a 6th championship is done and over with, the question all of Chicago wants to know, Michael, are you coming back? Well, he waxed rhapsodic afterwards.
My life has to continue. You know, hopefully I'll put enough memories out there for everybody to at least have some thoughts about what Michael Jordan did in his 13 years.
Tony, would you lock me in your trunk, Tony?
Tony, what are you going to say at the celebration today?
Nothing.
Nothing. Zero. Zip.
No, one thing.
You had a great series. A career game. Nothing. You heard it exclusively here. Toni Kukoc is going to say nothing.
Well,
you know, I'm getting my aerobic exercise here.
Okay,
let me.
Yeah. Be careful. Be careful. You know, they're bigger than you. Their legs are longer.
Oh, now he's talking to them.
Well, then he must talk to you.
Nothing.
He says nothing. Okay. Hey, it's exact change only, Tony. Exact change only. Okay.
Take a breather, Bruce.
Hey, Bruce, can't you get on the bus?
Can I get on the bus, Walter?
Try. Let's see
I'm
what
going to
happens.
throw myself in front of the bus is what I'm going to do,
They're
Walter.
going to roll the windows up is what they're going to do.
That man will do anything for Fox News. It's amazing.
What a snap when I hear him do that.
Best part.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Sensational, the 1998 Bulls Championship celebration.
When the Bulls played San Antonio and went to double overtime and Jordan hit that three-pointer, tie it up. I was at the game, and that was just amazing how the fans just went in concert when he made that three-pointer and went to overtime. And that kind of set the tempo for the whole season because they struggled throughout the season. It was not as easy as the past season. And throughout the playoffs, they struggled as well. But champions have a big heart, and they pulled it through.
Oh, your analysis is good. I think Mark and JR might want to look at you for the sports department. One more good one right here. Your favorite moment.
My favorite moment is when I took my dad to his very first Bulls game. It was on Christmas Day against the Miami Heat. We beat them. I mean, there was a plethora of excitement there. My father, I mean, he looked like a little kid, you know, just jumping around, waving paws around. It was awesome.
All right, thank you. Let's go to Dick Johnson right now. He's over on the other side of Grant Park. Dick?
Janet.
There's no comparison. I mean, this is the ultimate, I think. I guess a baseball player might say something different, but this is the ultimate for me. I just enjoy playing against the best guys in the world every night, and you know, we're known as the world champions, and we showed it when we went to France early in the season. Now we showed it by beating all the teams in the NBA.
Got a gut feeling on what this team's going to look like next year?
No, I'm not worried about next year. Just right now, I'm enjoying the moment.
Okay. Scott Burrell, thanks very much. Let's walk over this way. Phil Jackson just getting on the bus right now. Phil and June Jackson just getting on the bus with the rest of them.
888-372-5000 for a free consultation.
Here's to you. Thanks for making News 2 Chicago your choice for news.
You're looking at a live picture. The Bulls are on their way from Deerfield, headed down to Grant Park for what could be the biggest celebration of all 6 Bulls championships, I think. Michael Jordan leading the convoy in his black Corvette. We have not seen Dennis Rodman. He did not show up at Deerfield, so the speculation is whether or not he will actually show up at this rally. Maybe he'll come on his own and make a grand entrance. We don't know. We can only speculate at this point. But I'll tell you, Grant Park has never looked more packed with fans, with Bulls fans. It is unbelievable. People were here last night, starting at 10 o'clock last night, hoping to get seats down there. They didn't open the park till 6 this morning. People want to be here, even if they can't see what's going on. They want to be here. I guess they can say that years down the road that they were there when the Bulls celebrated their sixth.
We ought, although it's packed, we ought to reflect, at least it's my opinion, I mean, this crowd is quite orderly, tranquil, and just, seems to be pleased.
But it always has been. Every year has been.
They're playing Mozart on the music, though. That helps.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They are. They're playing Mozart, which is a very curious selection for a pep rally.
I hope it's Symphony 41. That's one of my favorites.
I think it's, no, it's not Eine kleine Nachtmusik either, but it's definitely Mozart. And that's got everybody in a nice, calm, easygoing mood.
And we have never been rained out on this celebration, ever. Last year it rained right up until airtime. The fields were mucky and wet. People still came on in, but it has never rained us out.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful afternoon for Michael Jordan's tea time, but Gene, you were saying that you spoke to Phil Jackson recently, or you've got some information on Phil?
Phil and I had a conversation about, probably now it's about 2 months ago, and it was a casual conversation. It wasn't a press interview, and so in a strange way, because of that, I put a little more weight into it because he wasn't on guard in any way. And the subject of next year came up, and Phil told me, and I think this is pretty close to a direct quote, that he said, I'd like to try a different career.
I think there's no question about that. He's reached the end of the road with Jerry Krause and Jerry Reinsdorf, and with this whole thing. Phil's his own very independent soul, wants to go maybe take a year off and commune with his thoughts.
Also,
and then come back.
he's multi-talented. For example, one of his best friends is Bill Bradley, and he's admired what his former teammate has done with his life, with a political career. And I think Phil could go in that direction, or the other area, I think, is teaching. I mean, Phil is a teaching coach.
He's more of a teacher than a
exactly
politician.
Right.
He's really not a politician.
Yeah, I think teaching
a psychologist, maybe.
I mean, I think that, you know, and you could argue that this has been Mr. Jackson's opus. I mean, it's. I think he would be a wonderful teacher, and you know, if that's what he decides, you know, I think it'll be great. But that is what he said to me.
Gene, I just saw the Lima flight crew just pass over there. I guess they are going to do a flyover.
It's going to be a lot of entertainment, yeah.
After the national anthem is sung today, and I just saw them just over there, headed just over Meigs Field. So things are supposed to get underway officially at 10 o'clock. And
Mike Parker's underway right now, though. I think he's got some heavy activity in the expensive seats, if there are such things there, Mike.
Oh, Timmy, let me tell you, the folks here down in the seating section absolutely love the Mozart. I'm not so sure they didn't come down here just to hear the music, including, look at this guy. Bill Wennington is actually here early, right, Bill?
Yeah, I wanted to join the fans down here for this one.
No, really, who are you?
Dan.
You fooled me by your height. You're standing on the seats. I thought you were Wennington.
I wish I was.
How long did you wait in the line to get these seats?
We've been here since about 3 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. How did you spend the night? Just standing there?
Pretty much. You couldn't. You was elbow to elbow. You was skin tight all the way here. There's probably still people out there waiting to get in here.
You make a lot of new friends that way.
Oh, yeah. I got all my new friends here now.
You can't beat
Mozart fans, every one of them. Mozart fans. Back to you guys.
You can't beat fun at Grant Park, and really you can't, because as far as we're concerned, I mean, I'd rather be here than the golf course. Yes, this is the best place to be right now, in Chicago or anywhere else for that matter.
Yeah, but you know what? We were driving by the golf course down the road, and Tim's like, how's it looking over there?
Everything in its time.
Yes, sir.
And right now it's time to party and celebrate the Bulls, and we'll be back with lots more of that after this.
Oh, yeah. News 2 Chicago. Basketball first, weather second.
Golf third.
Sometimes I dream that he is me.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $1,750 on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager, $2,000 on Plymouth Grand Voyager, or $2,000 on the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Town & Country. And when you choose our low 1.9% APR, you still get the extra $1,000 owner's bonus for a limited time at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
When you're busy, sometimes you can't answer every call. Boy, could you use a receptionist.
Mr. Kenneth Markey calling.
Take a number.
I'm Maxwell Moore.
I'm busy.
Well, instead of hiring a receptionist,
A Miss Kate Turner call. Twice.
get something better from Ameritech.
Did you say Katie?
Order caller ID now and you'll get a free display unit and free shipping and handling. Everything you need to make the most of your time.
May I help you find a doctor?
I hope so.
What you're looking at is the way that thousands of people a day are finding healthcare providers. It's 1-800-DOCTORS, America's most complete information source on doctors, with over 500 pieces of information on each physician or dentist, including the school they attended, their bedside manner, and more. Make an informed decision with 1-800-DOCTORS Help. It's free and it works. May I make an appointment for you?
Yes, please.
This is the month for big savings during Toyota's June Summer Savings Event. It's the summer's best selection of Camrys. And now you can choose between an incredible $229 a month lease, or you can choose low 4.8% financing for 48 months, or choose $750 cash back. So hurry! The June Summer Savings Event ends soon. See your Toyota dealer now for 3 great Camry offers.
It is Hitman.
Michael Jordan leading the convoy in his black Corvette. As Gene Siskel said a few moments ago, News 2 Chicago basketball first, weather second. And look at that picture. There is no green around us. It is a gorgeous day here down in Grant Park, as it always turns out to be for these Bulls celebrations. Clear on the radar screen and clear here. We're waiting for the arrival of the Bulls down at Grant Park.
The sun always shines on the Bulls, indeed. That's true. But we hope the sun's going to shine on Scottie Pippen, too, right, Linda?
We do. We've been talking a lot about Michael Jordan, obviously, but there were a lot of other storylines in the big victory the other night. Scottie Pippen and a really severe, it seemed like a really severe at the time, back injury right at the beginning of the game. And Dorothy Tucker has more on how he played through that pain and what that injury might have involved.
And you can see Pip as he and Michael change places along the lane, and Pippen telling Michael, my back.
It was no secret Scottie was in pain, suffering from muscle spasms. Throughout much of the game, he grimaced.
I had a very sore back and took a couple falls in the last game that really threw me off, and I just lost a lot of my mechanics for its moving out on the court.
If you've ever had a Charlie horse in your leg, multiply that pain by 100, and you'll have an idea of what Scottie was feeling.
And anytime that you try to twist or bend, it increases the spasm, increases the tearing feeling.
Dr. Stephen Andra is a specialist in back pain and back injuries. He says the kind of pain Scottie was experiencing would have crippled the average man, and it did force Scottie to head to the locker room for a massage and physical therapy. That helped him through some of the pain, but not all of it.
Playing basketball with that kind of injury is a real phenomenal feat of determination. The importance of the moment, the adrenaline of the moment, and the determination to be part of that team is what I think got him through it.
Back into Pippen. He goes up and dunks the ball.
Every time I tried to run, I was getting spasms, but, you know, I wanted to be there. I wanted to be a present. I wanted to play a major role in the game.
Even though Pip's been in the game, and actually for how he's probably feeling, has been pretty productive. But Michael's
no doubt Bulls fans are glad Scottie played through the pain and played well. Dorothy Tucker, News 2, Chicago.
You know, guys, in terms of playing through pain, I don't know how many fans know that there is another Bull who consistently plays through pain, and that's Ron Harper. Ron Harper has bad knees, and Ron Harper has had one great finals after another these 6 championship years. Remember, he is assigned to guard, typically one of the best players on the opposing teams, and Ron Harper rises to the occasion, and I think he's one of the untold stories of courage and excellence of the Bulls championship years.
But nobody plays like pain or plays through pain more than Michael Jordan, too, when he had the flu.
Oh.
And then, obviously, Dennis Rodman playing through the badly sprained wrist.
Right.
But, Gene, that's the point. When you're a world-class athlete and you're paid millions of dollars, that's what you're paid for, is to play through the pain, but some do it better than others.
Yeah.
Harper is amazing.
Remarkable.
Pippen did a very good job, and in many ways dispelled all that aura that hung over him of the migraine headache in Detroit, the 1.8
it's
seconds.
gone now.
Well, it is pretty much completely gone.
Yeah,
and Rodman was a warrior, too, because, believe me, Linda, he was in a lot of pain. And you notice that he did a lot of things awkwardly because he really couldn't grab the ball with that sprained thumb like he normally would.
Exactly. He said he couldn't, he couldn't, Dennis has a wonderful skill as a passer, throwing that big outlet pass to start a break. And, he said he couldn't grip the ball before the game. That was tough.
But, Linda, as you know, at the end of a season, you're talking about 82 games regular season and then all those playoff games. Yeah. Everybody is really hurt by the end of it. It's a grueling 8-month grind, and everybody's body is beat up. Yeah. And those that want it the most are the ones that win it. And the Bulls obviously had that desire and talent.
Yeah, well, Harper, when he signed his deal with the Bulls, which I believe was $19 million for 5 years, he did not take the physical. He didn't want to reveal the extent of his injuries.
Well, there was thought they were getting damaged goods when they got Harper because his knees are so bad.
Yep.
Gentlemen,
he's just been a real, well, to use a phrase that might be appropriate for a guy with bad knees, he's been a real stand-up player in one finals after another.
I want to take care of just a little bit of business. If you are a Guiding Light fan, we want to let you know that it will be aired early tomorrow morning, 1:42 a.m. So if you want to set your VCRs, If you were hoping to see Guiding Light today, we're bringing you the coverage of the Bulls rally down here in Grant Park. 1:42 tomorrow morning. You can set your VCR and record it then. And we, for the past few minutes, have been showing you shots of the crowd that is down here in Grant Park. We've been here 6 times before. We have never seen a crowd like this for any of the previous Bulls rally. A very happy, peaceful crowd. And I don't really remember over the past years any incidents to speak of. It has been always a wonderful, very upbeat and positive kind of celebration down here.
Well, Linda, many times we look out at these crowds over the last 6 celebrations, we say, well, we're not sure exactly how many or what does it compare to the others and blah, blah. This is unequivocally, without any reservations, by far the largest gathering ever, and it's really going to be something. And the nice thing about it is, Gene and Linda, it hasn't even really started yet. The fun is yet to come. And we're going to share that fun with you right after a timeout.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $2,000 on Plymouth Neon, save $1,500 on Chrysler Cirrus, and save $1,500 on Chrysler Sebring Coupe and $500 on Sebring Convertible. And when you choose our low APR rates, you still get the extra $500 Owner's Bonus. The Chrysler in Plymouth Owner's Bonus Sale. For a limited time only at your Chrysler in Plymouth dealer.
Victoria's cool, Victoria's hot. This lady's got style no one else has got. Come out for a while, she'll bring out a smile like no one else can. She's more than a cut above all the rest. Come on, live it up, won't you be her guest? Victoria's grand.
For the time of your life, anytime you want, come to the Grand Victoria Casino.
She's #1 for a reason.
Victoria's grand.
What retirement community offers the best value? The one with the best services, activities, and amenities? Or the most freedom to live life on your terms? The one with the security of an on-site health center? Or is it the best managed? Or the one with the best financial choices? Surely there's one that offers all those things. And that one is Beacon Hill. Where your future's concerned, only the best will do. For information, call 630-691-4007.
You should call Best Buy the Daddy Store, because he loves it. At the Daddy Store, they beam down movies from outer space on this big TV. I want a speaker to eat. All daddies go to the Daddy Store, and Super Dad flies around and gets super brains for computers and software and music.
Where daddies go for super stuff. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
And a spaceship comes down, and the alligators get out, and the alligator hot dog, and then when you...
Only the Bulls. And now, only the Bulls, your Chicago Bulls. People, fans, happy fans jammed into Grant Park here. We have never seen it like this in the last 6 years for this celebration. It is a wonderful feeling down here. Great weather.
Yeah, you know, I think I figured out why. I'm staring at the crowd and see, you know, why are they so relaxed? And here's what I decided. In other cities, when teams win a championship, you know, you got all the people, you know, staring in front of the cameras going, we're #1, we're number... We know we're #1, and we've known it for, you know, 6 years. So this crowd is simply relaxed and appreciative.
But, you know,
so there isn't like any, you know, finally we've become victorious.
Right. The crowd is so pumped here. There was, I believe, a technician on the stage who did a mic test a minute ago, and the place went up for grabs. Yeah. So they are relaxed and obviously very happy.
Yeah,
We're used to
they can't be stimulated by a technician. Good, that's great.
Well, they're hungry for entertainment, and they're going to be getting it very shortly. Yeah. And, you know, it's interesting when Jay was asking the players, what are you going to say? What have you prepared? Well, were I or you getting up in front of this many people and also on a national television audience, because this stuff is going to be broadcast around the globe, I'd want to have something really cool and clever prepared. Wennington, Jordan, all these guys say, we're just going to get up there and wing it. And Michael, I loved it, says, well, I usually get to go last, so I see what everybody else says. Yeah. I mean, I guess, hey, if you're used to improvising on the basketball floor, you might as well improvise on stage.
The official celebration is supposed to start at 10 o'clock. It's almost every year it has been late in getting underway. The Bulls are on their way. I don't know exactly where they are right now, but they should be getting close. They're getting an escort Illinois State Police escort down here. There's Michael Jordan's Corvette. He is leading the convoy here, buses carrying the players and their families, and we'll try and find out. Well, let's see. I can't tell from this angle exactly where they are yet, but they should be here close. Let's go to Mike Parker, who's down among the crowd. Mike.
Young ladies over here. I've got a couple of young ladies over here that were begging me earlier to get their signs on television. And here, calm down, calm down. These are the signs. Jordan, please come back. I love Kerr. Ha ha, Tom. The Bulls won. And Harper is the man. You're obviously a Steve Kerr fan.
Yes, I am. I love Steve Kerr because he's awesome. I love him. Steve is awesome. He's awesome.
But he's such a small guy.
But he's awesome. He's good. He's good.
Hey, look, but he's not small. Harper's the man, though. Harper is the man.
You see, Michael, Scotty, and Rodman aren't the only big attractions out here. There's a lot of folks out here pulling for every member of this championship Bulls team. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Mike Parker. This is the first year, I believe, that people who were allowed into the seating area were not allowed to bring big banners and big posters and big signs.
No banners, no bottles, no coolers, no nothing. No shoes, no socks, no
Just your
service.
excitement and your enthusiasm. Let's go to our eye in the sky. We were trying to find out exactly where the Bulls are, how far they are away. Chris Habermill, can you tell us?
Linda, we aim to please. You asked and we answered. Michael Jordan is leading the caravan just past North Avenue, so we're less than 10 minutes away from the arrival of the motorcade at the Grant Park area. As we traveled down to Edens, and as we tried to show you back on the Edens and also the Kennedy Expressway, time after time, every single overpass that they drove underneath is just loaded with Bulls fans. They hear the helicopters coming. They race to the edge of the overpass to see the motorcade pass by. They bring out their flags and their banners, and they're waving. They're saying, thank you from Chicago. Thank you very much, Chicago Bulls, 1997-98.
You know, if Chris would sit still, Gene, we wouldn't have that jiggle in the picture.
Yeah.
But, you know, Chris is so excited, he's bouncing up and down, and the helicopter is not getting a clear picture.
Oh, helicopter.
Chris, chill.
They scare me. Linda was mentioning signs and banners and all that. I remember, Tim, I don't know what you saw this year, but last year I went to Utah for the finals, and I saw some really vicious, mean-spirited signs presented by the Utah fans who, you know, are otherwise okay, but man, they had bad signs of, you know, stuff attacking Scotty and Dennis, and apparently one sign was removed for being offensive this year.
Yes.
Did you notice anything like that, Tim?
Yes, it was about the same. The signage was about the same, Gene, especially directed toward Rodman. They really vilified him. But now here's the interesting thing. These were rabid fans. That Mormon stuff, they really get into it. And when it was all over and Michael Jordan put the dagger right in their hearts and sunk that basket to win the game, most of the fans applauded because they realized they were watching a genius. They were watching Mozart, Beethoven, Shakespeare. They were watching one of the all-time greats, and they experienced and were part of it. And even though they were bitterly disappointed, they were appreciative of what they were a part of.
You know, Utah gave us, or that night gave us, one of the most amazing shots of Michael Jordan. When he had his head out the top of the Bulls bus and was just waving to the fans and throwing hats. I will never forget that scene. Ever forget that scene.
That's Michael. And that had
I always like the hand gestures he makes after the winning shot. In game one, I believe, last year on the final, he did the fist. If you watch the replay, he holds his hand up after he makes the shot. He holds his hand like this. And to me, what that signaled is he knew it.
And he
knew it, and it's just, you know,
and after the game,
perfect. I know that this is a common gesture that people use, but it wasn't triumphant. It was like, you know, that's the way of course, that's the way I shoot, naturally. I mean, it was very interesting.
While we're reminiscing, let's take a look at a Mike Flannery package who's looking back at some of the many magical moments that Michael Jordan has given us.
I had the ball in my hand, so he gave me the option to do what I had to do, and I did what I had to do.
He's done what he had to do so many times for so many years, but for Bulls fans, it never gets old.
Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up, and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
It's known in Cleveland as the shot. It knocked out the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1989. But there have been so many shots. Who could forget Jordan's acrobatic mid-air ballet against the 91 L.A. Lakers?
Starts out with the flying one-hander and says, no, I used that one already to win the slam dunk. Let me change up
entertain a little bit right now.
Is he going to retire next year? I don't know. But how fitting is it for him to make the last basket?
Fans can only hope there will be many more baskets to come. Mike Flannery, News 2, Chicago.
This is a live picture from Chris Habermill up in Chopper 2. Chris, obviously over downtown. Can you give us more specifics as to where the Bulls are on their way to Grant Park?
Linda, unfortunately, I have a picture of just buildings. They just exited the Kennedy at Madison, and they have turned off of eastbound Madison, southbound on Desplain. So what they're going to do is they're probably going to take that all the way down to Roosevelt, and then take Roosevelt over and double back on Columbus Drive, come up behind the band shell there. So as soon as we get another visual on them, we'll be right back to you.
You haven't seen anyone with green and black hair on a Harley pull up into that convoy, have you?
I have been looking from the very first time we got there, and no, I have no worm sightings yet.
All right, Chris, thanks. We're going to take a break just before the Bulls actually do arrive here at Grant Park. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous morning to celebrate the 6th World Championship. We'll be right back.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $1,750 on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager, $2,000 on Plymouth Grand Voyager, or $2,000 on the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Town & Country. And when you choose our low 1.9% APR, you still get the extra $1,000 owner's bonus for a limited time at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Protect your home and save with Olympic stains at Menard. Weather screen stains repel moisture on contact. They won't crack, peel, or blister and resist fading. Now just $11.69 a gallon after rebate. Add style with black or white Pro-Spec vinyl shutters from Design House. Maintenance free with a lifetime warranty in popular sizes, just $8.97 per pair. Beautify your home with savings at Menard.
Save big money at Menards.
What's in your ice cream, Lindsay?
This is Paul Sorbet 80. Mom's like, Listeride. I don't know what that is. My mother never told me that. Breyers is good stuff, natural stuff. Milk, strawberries, sugar, and cream. Yummy.
Breyers all natural. Taste, not technology.
And now, introducing Breyers All Natural Light. At last, a light ice cream with all the taste of Breyers All Natural.
Is someone you know in need of a wheelchair or hospital bed? Meridian Home Medical offers a variety of convalescent aids and free home delivery. We even offer the new electric wheelchair that folds up and can go in your car. Meridian Home Medical accepts Medicare and private insurance assignment, which can mean little or no out-of-pocket expense to you. To see if you qualify, call 1-800-551-1769. Experience the freedom of mobility with home convalescent supplies from Meridian Home Medical.
This is a wonderful place to be right now, isn't it, gentlemen?
Well, Gene was just mentioning, and I had said this in Salt Lake City, how spoiled Chicago sports fans are, and what a blessing it has been, Gene, for the last 14 years to have Michael Jordan among us, and not just Michael, but the entire Bulls saga, the dynasty. And it is really, it has made Chicago the capital of the sports world. For me, a sportscaster, it doesn't get any better than that.
Let me tell you something, Tim. You may get a kick out of this. I was in a New York restaurant a couple of months ago, and Woody Allen came up to me, and he said, you know, Gene, you wrote something that was pretty good. And he said, you came up with 50 reasons to prefer living in Chicago to living in New York. And, of course, I was amazed that he would agree, you know, Woody Allen, major New Yorker, would agree that there were 50 reasons to live in Chicago over living in New York. And I said, what did I write? What was the 50 reasons? He said, 50 Bulls home games. And, you know, it's true. I mean, you know how fans in other cities go nuts when the Bulls come to town. And we get them 50 times in these 100-game seasons. It's a kick. It's a big kick. You know.
And I don't think it's over yet. I really don't.
I don't think so.
Well, you know, a lot of people are saying, what are you guys worrying about the future for? Why don't you just savor the moment? Well, we are savoring the moment, but that's human nature. We realize we have this great thing, and we want to keep it. And obviously, selfishly, fans want to make sure that the Bulls are preserved because they're not ready to be dissolved yet. That was proven Sunday night in Salt Lake City, Linda. When Michael did what he did, it was proven that they are not finished yet. There is a lot more work to be done.
I don't know how many people share this feeling, but basically, my attitude, I've dropped the selfish aspect of wanting more for this. My attitude now has become whatever Michael wants for himself. He deserves to have whatever he wants, if anybody does. And if he's
and he
happy,
does have, he
will make that,
he wants.
And he will have it, and therefore that's perfect with me. You know, I've got enough. Boy, I mean,
you know what Michael wants now is for the traffic to disperse a little bit so he can get in here. I noticed even his airness has to stop for a traffic jam once in a while. That's about the only thing that stops him up or gums him up is maybe traffic. They're about a mile away from here, we're told, and here's where it's going to get a little bit tight because there's nowhere for these cars to go. And there's nowhere for these people to go, Linda. It is truly amazing. Just when we say this place can't hold anymore, some more are coming in, and it just keeps on building and building and building.
And it looks, the official part of the celebration, minus the Bulls at the moment, is about to get underway. I can see the band at the ready.
That's Ray Clay, the Bulls announcer, and now...
Hey.
You know, we got a lot of young people in this crowd today, and we have to protect them. So it's up to all of you adults, and I know you're all adults, to do a good job, especially by the fences back there. If we could have you just back up a little bit, give the kids some breathing room. We want everybody to be safe because we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's coming up real soon. So everybody, please help us out. Just back up a little bit. We'll be ready to go in just a few minutes. Go
outer Lakeshore Drive if they backed up anymore.
Precisely. The only place to back up to is Lakeshore Drive, Linda, because they are right up against the edge now.
And we had our first hint of the size of this crowd when we arrived at about 8 o'clock this morning, so 2 hours before start time. And I had never seen, in all the years that we've been down here doing this, I'd never seen people lined up on all sides waiting to get into the park.
Well, and also last night, I can't believe people were here at 6 o'clock last night, and they kept saying nobody can spend the night in the park, but obviously they did. Where else are they going to go? People were wanting to be a part of this thing from the minute they knew it was going to be held, and they would not be dissuaded. Chris Habermill, the picture's steadied up, and I guess the caravan is just about ready to join us.
Yeah, Tim, I finally calmed down. I finally chilled out. I'm no longer dancing up and down in the back of the helicopter, though, although I feel like it there. MJ in the lead, Ron Harper behind him. Some unidentified mystery guest in that Range Rover at the back of the pack there, and just behind it, the rest of the team in the 2 buses that are over, just coming eastbound on Roosevelt Road right now, just coming over the south branch of the Chicago River. We are just moments away from turning on to Columbus Drive here, so we are just about to join you.
All right, and the excitement builds. The unidentified mystery guest in the Range Rover. Does Rodman drive a Range Rover?
Yes, I think that big white. I've seen Dennis in a white recreational vehicle.
Now, wouldn't that just be like him, Gene, to pick up the caravan in midstream? I mean, he always showed up late for every game. He always stayed in the locker room when he didn't start and loosened himself up there and then came out for a grand entrance. So whatever unusual things need to be done, Dennis will do them.
We've speculated a lot about the future Michael and Scotty, Phil Jackson. What about Rodman?
Well, Rodman told everybody about a week and a half before the end of the finals that he was finished. He had had enough. He didn't want to play anymore. We reported that. He said that, you know, I've had my run. I'm going to move on to other things.
That Harper with the trophy beside him.
Yeah, that's Harper with the trophy. Now, since the Bulls have won again, Rodman is singing a little bit different tune. And, Gene, you know how these things go. Michael, Scotty, Dennis, your moods change from day to day. You're really not exactly sure what you want to do. And I'm sure that if Pippen is concerned, if the Bulls came to him with the big offer, the big money, Jerry Krause sat in there, they shook hands, let bygones be bygones, this could all be worked out and Scotty would come back. Things change quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we know Dennis likes money because he's doing this ridiculous World Wrestling Federation stuff. But you know, he can't get any more dough, I don't think, from any other team. And I think if the money is there, and possibly if they remove some of the heavy restrictions that were put on him in this year's contract, I think he would appreciate that, because he had some very severe penalties worked in to his contract this year.
But they worked, Gene. They worked.
Yes, they did. Oh, absolutely.
Stipulations kept Rodman's
Yes.
nose clean. They kept him showing up every game. He earned all of his incentives, and he earned big bucks. So obviously Dennis responded to that kind of stimulation.
I think I know something about that contract that hasn't surfaced very much, and that is that the penalties were if Dennis had been suspended, that's a key word, suspended by the league or the team once or twice, his deferred money would have been severely curtailed. So big time money. And
Dennis
it worked. It did work.
He responds to outside discipline. I mean, external disciplines are important to him because he doesn't have a lot of internal discipline, except with his body, Linda. Internally, Dennis Rodman is very disciplined about staying in shape.
Yes,
I mean, how could you carouse like he does? How could you go out and party on, and then show up and play and be so well conditioned?
Hey, you
don't do that by accident.
And you ride the bike during the game, and he also rides the bike sometimes after the game.
He's very disciplined that way.
Yeah.
Here we go. They're getting close, coming up Columbus Drive, and they're right around the corner now. And you can only imagine, Linda and Gene, when these guys actually come out on stage, well, you know, I don't know what you're going to talk about. 150,000, 300,000, 400,000 people. I mean, who knows how many people are packed in here. I guess there is a science to estimating these crowds. But all these people in full-throated glory are going to salute the conquering heroes when they come out here, and it's going to be a terrific moment indeed. What do you think? 200,000, 250,000?
Oh, more than that.
Really?
I guess 500,000.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to dispute who's to say.
Yeah, as long as you're guessing, pick a big number.
Yeah, why not?
Let's go for 750.
Okay.
Okay, who's going to argue with you?
Yeah, exactly. But the point being, if we're talking that many people or even anything close, that's a pretty good chunk of Chicago's population, which is out here celebrating in person, and another huge chunk celebrating video-wise through us.
Well, you know,
just about everybody is into the Bulls right this minute.
What's wonderful is these are great family experiences.
That's true.
I tell my own children, they happen to have been born and live at a very special time. You know, to live through this stuff, you know, Tim and I are approximately the same age, and we remember growing up in this city with the Cubs, you know,
Ernie Banks.
We'll put it this way, gently, not a winner mentality.
No, that's true. Chicago had the stigma for many years.
Yeah.
That stemmed from the Sox repeatedly coming in second to the Yankees.
Correct.
The Cubs failing miserably. There was really no Bull factor then. The Bears had won a championship in '63, but otherwise the Bears had some problems with the Giants. So you're right, Gene. Chicago was not the city of winners, and Michael Jordan indeed changed all that.
The fans here.
So this is great for families to come out here. It'll really imprint on children that they were part of this special era.
The people who are on Butler Field here, behind the area right in front of the Petrillo Bandshell where people are seated, the people out on the field are able to watch all of this on a huge Jumbotron screen, and they just flashed up this picture here, so people are now aware that the Bulls are, if not right in the house, almost in the house.
Well, and as you know, Linda, when you have a crowd this large and people are so far away from the hub of the activity, a lot of things are travel by rumor. You know, go through the crowd. Hey, they're coming. Hey, buzz, buzz, buzz. You get close to your neighbors, and that's how you get communication and information. And thank goodness for the Jumbotron, which is allowing a lot of people to stay with their finger on the pulse of the activity. And you know what, Gene, I've talked to these players several times about this. This never gets old for them either. How could it? I mean, they've done it 6 times now in the last 8 years, and each time it's a new kick.
But, Tim, I wondered about last year's celebration, and I wondered whether or not the players were as into the celebration here at Grant Park. I had a feeling that maybe their hearts weren't into the celebration as much as it had been in other years.
I don't know about that.
Linda?
I don't know, just watching them, listening to them on stage. But this year, I know it's going to be different.
Well, I think there's a great sense of relief among all these players. They worked so hard for this one, Gene. I mean, Scottie Pippen missed so many games with injury. Michael Jordan, you know, at his age, I don't care how superbly conditioned you are, you got to keep your body going. And there's Toni Kukoc with his little one as the Bulls are coming up to the Grant Park bench. So here they are, right backstage. We are moments away from big-time excitement here with these guys.
Well, to a man, Tim, they all reported that this was the toughest, so you got to take them at their word.
And it was. It was very hard. Indiana took them to 7 games.
Yeah, also, but the whole season with the overlay of, you know, is everybody coming back? I mean, there wasn't a day that these guys weren't peppered with questions on that subject.
And that can be very emotionally taxing.
I just say it's draining. Like, come on, let's play. You know, give me a break. That would have been the feeling, I think, of some of them.
And here they all go. There's my buddy Bill Wennington. And now they're all in uniform, too, which is interesting. Of course,
I mean, with their three-peats?
Well, with the T-shirts and the hats. I mean, I think in past years they've all dressed similarly, but I don't remember them all wearing exactly the same thing. I could be mistaken.
Well, Dennis never did he?
Yeah, that's exactly right. There's Bill Cartwright, who has experienced this as a player and now as a coach. I'm told Bill Cartwright is a very good coach, Gene. Very patient, very knowledgeable, very bright. And he was really great when he played for those first 3 world champions before Michael retired.
It was a great trade for him, absolutely.
And I know many times, Gene, we've all asked ourselves this: what would have happened if Michael had not taken that sabbatical for 2 years? Would this be an 8-peat?
Yes, it would.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Michael,
not.
I mean, they darn near won the year without him.
And I'll tell you this. Not only would it have been an 8-peat, the issue about us going for a 9th, if you will, would not be an issue. Why? Because Michael would have liked to have beaten the record of the Boston Celtics of 8 in a row. There is no question that if he, and frankly, let's get real, if his father hadn't been killed, I don't think he would have left basketball. And, yeah, we would be going for a 9th one for sure.
That last shot, that overhead shot that we just showed everyone, I would love to compare that to years previous, because I do think that shot shows that there has never been a larger crowd here.
Here comes Michael with Joe and the rest of his entourage. Joe always of the backward Nike cap, a good advertisement for
security. MJ's got the big stogie.
MJ's employer, one of his many employees. There's Juanita. And Gene, as we've mentioned several times already in this broadcast and for a long time now, Michael has never been more happy and more relaxed. Life is good. It always has been good, but now it is beyond good for this man. I think he's really come to be at peace with a lot of issues.
That's great. Well, his remarkable ability to focus on positive things, to focus on goals, is so impressive to me. If he were sitting next to me, Tim, the question I would ask him is, how do you have the ability to eliminate negative thoughts and keep so positive? In other words, I'd almost like to know biomechanically how he gets rid and how he eliminates a negative thought, because this man is totally focused on positive goals and produces positive results, I think, in part because of that. And it's remarkable. You talk to him, ask him about, if you study his answers, you can always see he's focused positively and on the goal of winning the championship. He does not get distracted.
Wow. Here we are. Oh, geez, I'm telling you, every time I see this picture, it is absolutely mind-boggling. There's Luke Longley. Now, I love Luke Longley, Gene. He's a wonderful man. Just a tremendous guy to spend time with.
A good sense of humor.
Totally disappeared during the finals. I was really sorry for him because he's a free agent now. He scored no points in the final game, but there, Michael would scold me for even raising any negative issues. See, you've got to stay positive. Well, don't even think about those negatives.
Let me give you an example of a conversation I had with Michael last year. I asked him after he hit the game-winning shot in Game 1, I said, when you were driving home to Highland Park after the game, did you look in the rearview mirror of your car and say, you know, I did it again? And he said, no. He said, what I said to myself was, I got the young players off to a good start. Now think about that. Not a selfish remark, not a self-centered remark. You know, you just won a game with a last-second shot. No. Again, focused on helping his teammates move toward the ultimate goal of the championship. Remarkable.
I don't think there's probably an athlete in the world who gets peppered with as many questions, and often the same question over and over and over again. And he never sounds annoyed or frustrated or short with people. He never takes a misstep.
That's a great talent he has within the patience. Patience. Patience is a very important part about thinking positively.
You know, David Stern, the commissioner, has said in addition to his basketball skills, there has never been, and there probably won't be, a personality to go along with those skills like Michael. I mean, that's why there will never be another Michael Jordan. You will never get the whole package again.
He is he's a beautiful entertainer, and he's a beautiful man, and you compare him to some of the other superstars, not only in basketball but in other sports, they certainly don't have Michael's charisma, which is why he is the most widely recognized and admired entertainer in the world today, and perhaps ever. Looks like the party's going to get rolling now. Everybody's on stage, and everybody's waiting to see the entertainment unfold, so let's go on stage.
Let's bring on the Lovables to begin the program performing Raise the Roof with Benny the Bull and the Bull.
Survey says, oh, come on and just throw your hands in the air and push them up like you just don't care. And if you're ready to rock and raise the roof, not around somebody say, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you don't stop, push them up now, and put your hands up. Come on, raise the roof.
A vital part of the Chicago sporting landscape. Linda and Gene, as you know, these ladies don't get paid a lot of money to do this, and it's a real grind, but now are the rewards to get to be a vital part of the celebration and get the fans going. Tough deal to be a Lovable, I think.
Well, you know, whatever you may think, and I have some questions about the iconography of, you know, the woman cheerleader in service of the male warrior. The Lovables do a lot of very fine charitable work.
That's right.
And I raise a lot of money, and I think that's the best thing about the Lovables.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's all sing along. Let's bring it back to 1964 and Sam and Dave. We're going to change around a little bit. I'm a Bulls fan. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Kevin J. And our let's all get your hands together. We're going to sing along a little bit. Everybody get their hands together. Come on now.
Sweet home Chicago, and it is sweet.
As sweet as it gets right now.
That was the Bulls Brothers. Big fun in the Bulls Brothers. Oh, rock and roll too. An anthem for these celebrations.
Yeah, but especially so here, because this is where we hear it the most. The Lovables, Benny the Bull, and Da Bull.
Thank you, Lovables, Bulls Brothers, Benny the Bull, and the Incredibles. Now let's give a warm welcome to our Master of Ceremonies, longtime broadcaster and first ever Chicago Bulls coach, the one and only John Red Kerr.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce a local recording artist to sing the national anthem, Jesse Campbell.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights for the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. for the land of the free. And the home. And the home of the
And as we enjoy the Lima flyover and a wonderful Star-Spangled Banner by Jesse Campbell, it's time to bid our dear friend Gene Siskel a fond adieu, and we'll see you tomorrow. Gene Siskel, thanks so much for joining us. What a treat it was to see you, to be with you, and to share your insights on the Bulls. Linda, as I told him, I desperately missed him in Salt Lake City.
Well, I don't know if people know that we go back 35 years to college, and I love you, Tim, as you know. I love the joy that you always express in most everything that you do.
Gene, it does our hearts so much good to see you here.
Thank you, Linda. And by the way, Linda, my wife and I are going to split now, knocking your crowd estimate down to 749,998.
Mark my words.
God bless, Gene.
Okay.
Thanks so much
Great
for being with
to
us.
see you.
All
Thank
right.
you, Marlene.
All right. And as we say, always, go Bulls. In this case, we say, come, I think, rather than go.
Exactly. And they'll be coming back.
All right, great.
Gene, thanks.
Pleasure, Tim.
And the Bulls coaching staff, Frank Hamblin. A guy that won 3 rings on the first three-peat and 2 as a coach, Bill Cartwright. Jimmy Rogers with 3 other championship rings, but 3 with the Chicago Bulls. Jimmy Rogers. A very important part of the coaching staff, a man who was with them since they started their charge for the victories, the designer of their offense, Tex Winter. I'd like to take you back, if we can, to courtside. Let me introduce the PA announcer, Ray Clay. Hey, Chicago, how we doing? This team loves you. You love this team. All I want you to do is remember it up here and remember it down here, because it can't get any better. You know how this goes. We did this last year. You helped me out. So get ready. We're going to do it again. Are you ready? And now, your 6-time world champion, Chicago Bulls! A 6'2" guard out of Wake Forest, Rusty LaRue! A 6'6" forward from Maryland, Heath Booth! At center, 7 foot from Arkansas, Joe Klein! A 6'10" forward from Providence, Nicky Simpkins! A guard, 6'6", from Arizona, Judd Bushler! A 7-foot center out of St. John's, Bill Wennington!
Chicago Bulls, Phil Jackson. Six-time world champion Chicago Bulls.
Fans are chanting one more year, and Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause aren't around to hear them, I guess. Are they out there with them? Have you seen them on stage?
I have not seen them, Tim, no.
I want to talk to you on a personal basis. I want to bring him up to visit with you. First, you have to remember that this team lost 6 times in the playoffs by a total of only 14 points. They won 11 and lost only 7 on the road in the finals. Let's bring up your coach and ask him about his feelings, Phil Jackson.
Thank you. All right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me say something to you, all right? I know you do. I know you do. But it's all right. You sit down and be quiet for a second, and I'll talk to you. First of all, we want to thank you for your support. Yes, sir. Thank you. Secondly, we want to thank our families back here. You too. All these people gave us tremendous support. My family and these players' families, we couldn't have made it without them. I'd like to thank my coaching staff. Bill Cartwright, stand up. There's Bill Cartwright, former captain, 3-time world champion of Chicago. Frank Ham, the mastermind against the Utah Jazz. Jimmy Rogers, statistician, and he's the guy that put it all together for our defense. And finally, a Hall of Famer coach, Tex Winter. About a year ago, this last month, Jerry Reinsdorf called me and asked me, did I think we could do it again? I said yes. I believed in these guys. All these guys could come back and do this again. I believed in them, and I thank him for that opportunity. Thank you, Jerry. And I want to thank Jerry Krause for giving us the opportunity to do it. He had another plan, but he put it aside. Thanks, Jerry. I want to thank the co-captains of this team, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Yeah, they were the heart and souls of this championship run. Without Scottie coming back, we never would have got it done. And Michael loaded us up on his shoulders and carried us home. And this was our last dance, and it was a wonderful waltz. Thank you all.
All right, let me call up One of the steadiest players on the Bulls, always there when the long-range shot seems to count, Steve Kerr. Steve, the Utah Jazz obviously have great memories. The memory of you hitting the shot to win the championship last year. They played you so tight in the last game they wouldn't give you a shot. That's respect, isn't it?
Well, my story is not quite as exciting this year, but I'll share it with you anyway. When we called timeout, we were down 3 with 45 seconds left. I kind of thought to myself, this would be a great chance at a three-pointer to tie the game. And I mentioned that to Phil. And Phil looked at me with this disgusted look, and he said, Steve, let's face it, last year was a fluke. Get the ball to Michael and get the hell out of his way. So, that's what I did. You know what happened, you know the rest. And for what it's worth, I thought I did a fantastic job of getting out of his way. I want to thank all of you for cheering for us and supporting us all these years. It's been unbelievable to experience all this with you. I also want to thank our families behind us, my teammates, the coaching staff. It's been unbelievable. We love you. Thank you.
And now a guy that I always called Phil's last-second substitution. It seemed like every quarter or end of the game, this guy would find his way on the floor. He had big minutes against Utah when Scotty was hurt in the first half. How about Judd Bushler?
Well, it's been a pretty exciting week for me. To have a baby and win a world championship in 1 week doesn't get any better. I'd like to give thanks to my wife. She was the real champ this week. I want to thank all the rest of my family and the gentlemen you see behind me that made it happen. It was a fantastic year. It was a terrific run. And last but not least, I want to thank you, Chicago, for supporting us the whole way through. Thanks.
The next guy was a great help for the last couple of years. A wonderful baseline shot when needed. Let's listen to Wennington's World. Billy Wennington.
Wow. I got it all on videotape. Mike, maybe I'll send you a copy one day since you were so graceful and let me film you once in a while. But I want to thank my wife and my son who've had to put up with me at home, with my mood, and last couple of days, the jubilation that I've had. Most of all, I want to thank my teammates and the coaches who've made the last 5 years here in Chicago the best of my life, best of my basketball career. I want to thank all you people out there, and I want you all to remember what we have now and what we've done, you can't take away. So whatever the future holds, we have 5, 6. Love you.
Well, it seems like every year Michael promises to get a ring for somebody. I remember when Darrell Walker was here, he got a ring for the Bulls, Frank Hamlin last year. This year, a new player. Welcome, Scott Burrell.
Thank you. I just have a couple of things to give out. I'd like to thank the fans and the city for supporting me and the Bulls. I'd like to thank the organization for making the trade to bring me to this great city and a great team. I'd like to thank my teammates for working me so hard to to get me better and to make me a world championship and get me a world championship. And I'd like to thank my mom and dad for producing the world champion, and I love them. Thank you.
The next guy comes from far across the water to join us. From Australia, Luke Longley. Now, Luke, you had some trouble with your knees during the season. Did the rest pay off for your playoff run?
My knees are fine. Everything feels great right now after what we've just been through. I don't have a single worry in the world. And we've got guys on this team from all over the world. You know where I'm from. We've got Croatians, Canadians, guys from all over America. But when we go on the road, and obviously when we're at home, we feel like we represent Chicago. You guys have made it a great place for us to represent. Feels like home. It's great to be on top.
I can remember back in the Indiana series, I can close my eyes and see this, one of the most beautiful plays in a playoff. Coming down on the left wing with the ball, Toni Kukoc. He goes behind his back to Michael for the dunk. Toni Kukoc.
Thank you. Thank you. As a waiter, I have only one thing to say. It's been a pleasure serving you, and hope to see you soon.
I don't know what went through your minds, but when Utah had the ball with 5 seconds to go, I sure would not want to have been this player. He had the job to try to guard John Stockton, and he did a great job. I wonder what went through his mind those last 5 seconds. Ronnie Harper.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my family and friends and my teammates and the coaching staff and all the great fans of Chicago. Thank y'all very much for this dream season, and if it was our last dance, it was a great dance. Thank y'all.
Well, I don't know if there's anybody in the NBA, any power forward as strong as Karl Malone. But we're going to find out from a guy that played against him. And also, I want to find out, what can we expect when you meet with Karl in the wrestling ring in July? Dennis Rodman!
They say this is a family show, right? Well, I'm gonna change this shit. All right, well, you know, I don't have much to say, but I like to thank the organization, Phil Jackson, and my little girl Alexis, and
I've always told myself I'll never, ever get married, right? I'll never ever have a wife. If I had to marry anybody, it'd be these 12 guys right here.
Your team is playing for the championship, being very sick and hurt. I think if you look in a dictionary under courageous, you'll find a picture of Scottie Pippen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Chicago. I just want to thank you guys for all the support that you've been able to give us, myself and the Chicago Bulls over the last 11 seasons. Really relying on us, giving us the opportunity to bring back another title. I want to thank all my teammates, the organization, the Lovables, everyone who supported us in the city of Chicago. It's been a great run. Thank you for our last dance.
You know, I must confess to being addicted to rosin by now. The 6th MVP this past season and the 6th MVP in the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. First of all, let me say, I want to thank my wife and my kids for putting up with me through this grueling season. It's been a long, long season. I know a lot of people didn't think we'd end up back in Grant Park this year. Nobody knows if we're going to be in Grant Park next year. But the one thing I do know is my heart and my soul and my love has always gone to the city of Chicago. And I do know that no matter what happens, my heart and my soul and my love will still be in the city of Chicago. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your energy. I just hope and pray. I just hope and pray that we can have an opportunity once again to share this type of enjoyment in the city of Chicago. Thank you.
crowd is starting to disperse, Linda and Howard. Howard Sudbury back with us, and there's a real crowd control problem, Howard. They're starting to come over the barricades, and they're just going to have to relieve the pressure and let them get out. You know, let them go over the barricades and move. The players are leaving too, and they all wanted to hear what Michael and Phil and everybody else said. And you heard nothing, Howard, we hadn't heard before. Michael said, hope and pray we'll be back here next year, but who knows?
We didn't get a lot of hints and anything from any of them, except when Michael talks about the opportunity to do it again, that leads you to believe that he's thinking about it.
He was the only one. Everyone else was talking the talk of Last Dance.
Well,
that is different than what we heard last year.
And Michael may have the last vote.
There's no question about that. Phil certainly, I think, closed the door on it for himself,
yes.
But that doesn't mean that the rest of them won't. I mean, I still stand by Scotty's thing when Jerry talks to his checkbook that he's willing to play here. And Michael obviously wants to play.
Regardless of what actually happens, the tone as we leave here today is very much that let's enjoy this moment, and no one can take this away from us, the sixth championship.
And really, that's the most overriding emotion, Linda. Enjoy the heck out of this, because we may experience it again, we may not. But no matter what happens, Howard, 6 times the city of Chicago has feasted on the Bulls' success, and what a wonderful banquet it's been.
And as I sit here and have sat here for the past, what, Tim, 3 hours, I don't know that there is another city in this country where this many people can come together and again have a very peaceful celebration of an incredible team.
All right, well, we are the champions. Rings in the background. We're going to take a short time out and be back with more of this incredible celebration from Grant Park right after this.
Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, thrilling us in every way.
Chrysler and Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $2,000 on Plymouth Neon, save $1,500 on Chrysler Cirrus, and save $1,500 on Chrysler Sebring Coupe and $500 on Sebring Convertible. And when you choose our low APR rates, you still get the extra $500 Owner's Bonus. The Chrysler and Plymouth Owner's Bonus Sale. For a limited time only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
You should call Best Buy the Daddy Store, because he loves it. At the Daddy Store, they beam down movies from outer space on this big TV. I want a speaker to eat. All daddies go to the Daddy Store, and Super Dad flies around and gets super brains for computers and software and music.
Where daddies go for super stuff. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
And a spaceship comes down, and the alligators get out, and the alligator hot dog, and then we...
Nothing can stop them. They're pets on a mission to make it to Petco's grand openings in the Chicago area. 38 locations with free goodies for everyone. Petco, where the pets go. Now save $4 on 40-pound bags of Nutro, Science Diet, and Iams dog food.
Hi, I'm Art Drysdale, and this is the Garden Claw. Using spades, forks, or cultivators can be back-breaking. The Garden Claw has a patented design that virtually eliminates bending and lifting. Turn the handles and the steel tines corkscrew down into all soils, even clay. It's perfect for mixing in peat and fertilizer, and it's ideal for working around plants and shrubs. The Garden Claw is backed by a 100% guarantee.
Look for this display.
Available at Target and other lawn and garden stores everywhere. Makes a great gift.
The Bulls, only the Bulls, only the one and only Chicago Bulls.
Back live at Grant Park as the crowd is starting to thin a little bit now. The celebration fundamentally is over, except that, Linda, you know that the celebration will linger forever, really, for all of us. The memories will never be gone, and we'll always be able to look back on these times, and this day in particular as, wow, it was great.
It has been an incredible run, hasn't it? And it's amazing that each year has been different. And as you guys, you've been there all the way, and for both of you, I think, this one's been the sweetest.
Yeah, I think it has been, because a lot of people, as Michael alluded to, didn't expect him to be back here at Grant Park and do it again.
Too old, too tired.
Well, yeah,
right.
I mean, Michael, we know he's the greatest ever, but at 35 to do what he did is an incredible feat. Out of all the feats that he's performed in the past.
And I think not only that aspect of it, Howard, but also the idea of being a little more mature. You really start to savor life's great moments. The farther you get down life's road, you realize, baby, this is great. Whoa, when you're 20 and 21 years old, I mean, hey, life is always going to be like this. But when you get to be 35, or heaven forbid, our age, or my age, you say, hey, baby, this is it. I'm going to grab onto every little shred of it. And speaking of grabbing onto shreds, Mike Parker, how have you survived down there, my friend?
Hey, let me tell you, Tim, I've been to a few of these things over the years, and I got to say that I have never felt more genuine emotion from a crowd at one of these championship celebrations than I heard this year. That one more year, we heard it over and over and over again. Let's talk to some of the fans here. It's kind of a sad day in a way, isn't it? There's a kind of an overlay of sadness even though we're all happy.
Well, hopefully we won't have to be sad. Hopefully they will come back again for one more year. It seems like Michael and all them don't want to come back, but we want them back. Right, guys?
Well, looking back on this season, what is the most memorable moment for you as a Bulls fan?
Michael taking the last shot to win it all, in case this is his last season. That'd be, my most memorable, stealing the ball and then going all the way with it.
All right. Thank you, fellas and girls. Have a good time. I think they're happy. Back to you guys.
Yeah, they don't want to go home yet. But we're not going to go home yet either. We got a quick timeout and then back with more from Grant Park and a rollicking Bulls celebration after this.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $1,750 on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager, $2,000 on Plymouth Grand Voyager, or $2,000 on the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Town & Country. And when you choose our low 1.9% APR, you still get the extra $1,000 owner's bonus for a limited time at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
Your body is incredibly complex, but finding the right doctor for it isn't. Now there's Rush On Call, the physician referral service that finds you the primary care doctor or specialist you need right away. All top medical experts at one of the world's most advanced medical centers. Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's, where world-class medicine revolves around you.
You know how many companies sell term life insurance? Over 1,700. Know how much your price can vary from one company to another? Hundreds of dollars a year. It's easy to overpay, but not if you call SelectQuote. At no cost to you, SelectQuote will find your lowest prices from the pick of top companies like these. I saved big money, and everything was handled right over the phone, including buying my policy. Look at these samples of SelectQuote's current low prices. A man, 36, tobacco-free, can get a $500,000 policy for under $27 a month. A woman, 42, can get a $250,000 policy for under $19 a month. Hundreds of thousands of people have saved millions of dollars buying term life insurance through SelectQuote. And now prices are at all-time lows.
Lock in your savings. Call 1-800-642-5600 now. SelectQuote.
Sometimes I dream that he is me. You got to see that's how I dream to be.
We're starting to see grass reappear in Grant Park.
Wow, and when this crowd does finally completely disperse, what a cleanup job. This is going to make that United Center cleanup job look like nothing. You're going to hear pretty soon, all the
We
blowers.
usually hear that sound because we're at the United Center that late after games, aren't we?
We are. I love that sound because it means that it's
time to go home.
Yeah, but it's not time to go home yet, at least not for us. Some of us. The fans, a lot of them do want to linger here simply for the reason that let's hold on to every last minute.
Let's hold on to every last minute and listen again to what Michael Jordan had to say when he was speaking to this huge crowd here today.
I know a lot of people didn't think we'd end up back in Grant Park this year. Nobody knows if we're going to be in Grant Park next year. But the one thing I do know is my heart and my soul and my love has always gone to the city of Chicago. And I do know that no matter what happens, my heart, my soul, and my love will still be in the city of Chicago.
Well, certainly our heart will be with Michael Jordan, too, because what an amazing gift that he has given us. This last decade has just really been unforgettable.
Was he saying goodbye or see you next year?
I think it's see you next year, but I'm gonna hold out that hope for a long time.
After the game the other night, after Sunday's game in the news conference, he said that he was, in this past season, the most competitive he has ever been, and that's from a man who is ultimately competitive.
He's not ready to quit.
He's not ready to quit yet.
We're not ready to quit yet either. A quick timeout and then back with more from Grant Park right after this.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the Owner's Bonus Sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $2,000 on Plymouth Neon. Save $1,500 on Chrysler Cirrus. And save $1,500 on Chrysler Sebring Coupe and $500 on Sebring Convertible. And when you choose our low APR rates, you still get the extra $500 Owner's Bonus. The Chrysler in Plymouth Owner's Bonus Sale. For a limited time only at your Chrysler in Plymouth dealer.
You should call Best Buy the Daddy Store, because he loves it. At the Daddy Store, they beam down movies from outer space on this big TV. I want a speaker to eat. All daddies go to the Daddy Store, and Super Dad flies around and gets super brains for computers and software and music.
Where daddies go for super stuff. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
And a spaceship comes down, and the alligators get out, and the alligator hot dog, and then when
Out here, it's not the fittest who survive. It's the most prepared. Come to the Sports Authority now for great prices on great gifts for the great outdoors. All perfect for that rugged outdoorsman you call Dad. Prepare yourself for Father's Day at the Sports Authority.
I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride. Then I found Harmonex, an herbal supplement from SunSource. Harmonex with St. John's wort to keep my spirits up emotionally and Siberian ginseng to keep me going physically. I feel like myself again. Keep harmony in your life with Harmonex.
And now, important news from SunSource. In healing anxiety with herbs and hypericum and depression, Harold Bloomfield, MD, discusses St. John's wort and Siberian ginseng. In his books, Dr. Bloomfield provides key information on herbs for feeling your best emotionally and physically.
You don't need any St. John's wort out here. There's no depression. Everybody is sky high. Everybody's still on a high from the Salt Lake City Triumph.
The only people who need St. John's wort are the people who have to come in now and clean this up. Post-party celebration.
Director Joe Hoffman said it looks like Woodstock right afterwards. Having been there, I can tell you, I don't know what it looked like.
You were at Woodstock.
Hey, pal.
You were?
I'm dating myself, but...
were you there?
Yeah, Phil Jackson was too, I think.
What do you remember of it? That's the question.
Well, I remember everything. I remember being really, really wet and miserable. But, hey, I was there.
Well, the people here today are dry and happy.
Yes, there you go.
Right? Everybody is. You know, I've been covering and watching Michael Jordan for a long, long time, and his heroics in the last game, Game 6 out in Salt Lake City, brought back a lot of memories of other great moments by Michael and great games by Michael Jordan. Let's take a look. Once he was cleared for takeoff back in 1984, we knew we had something special in Chicago. This skinny kid, lightning fast, dazzled everybody. It wasn't long until kids wanted to be like Mike. They loved him, and he loved them.
I don't want it to be where I'm bigger than they are. In their eyes, it may be that, but in my eyes, I'm their friend, and I can talk to them just like if there was someone I knew for a long period of time. I've been through it all, kid. See this? Oh, you'll see me too. Play like us now, my ground TV audience.
He's always had fun and loved winning, whether at cards or at hoops. And now the end is near, be it after tonight, after the season, or after next season. And when it's over, he told me what he wants to do after basketball.
Nothing. Just whatever my mind comes, whatever comes to mind. I think that is very unique, and I'm very happy that I have that choice to do whatever I think about doing at that particular time, if it's playing baseball, or if it's playing basketball, if it's playing golf, or it's doing nothing.
He can do whatever he chooses to do, and that's what makes him so great, because he can do whatever he chooses to do on the court, too. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, it's been our pleasure to watch your magic.
How blessed we are to have had him.
We are. We knew him when he had hair. And that's something when you look back at those old pictures of him. The remarkable thing about Michael is that he really hasn't changed much over the years. All the demands on him, all the people pulling him different directions, and he's remained a great guy to deal with and be around, hasn't he?
I first met him in 1984 in Los Angeles at the Olympics when he was the star there, and I went up and talked to him and introduced myself, and I said, I'm really looking forward to you coming to Chicago. And he said, man, how do you think I'm going to do? Had we only known.
What'd you tell him?
I said, I think you're going to be fine.
You'll be all right,
I think
kid.
you're going to be fine, man. We're going to be fine, too, after a quick timeout. Be right back.
Chrysler in Plymouth announces the owner's bonus sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $1,750 on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager, $2,000 on Plymouth Grand Voyager, or $2,000 on the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Town & Country. And when you choose our low 1.9% APR, you still get the extra $1,000 owner's bonus for a limited time at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
When you're busy, sometimes you can't answer every call. Boy, could you use a receptionist.
Mr. Kenneth Markey calling.
Take a number.
I'm Maxwell Moore.
I'm busy. Well, instead of hiring a receptionist,
A Miss Kate Turner call. Twice.
get something better from Ameritech. Did you say Katie? Order caller ID now and you'll get a free display unit and free shipping and handling. Everything you need to make the most of your time.
They're moving up. They're promoting. Captain Reeves. Captain Murtaugh. And settling down. We never talked about marriage.
You want to get married?
But old habits.
Think you can stay off the streets and out of trouble?
Yeah, absolutely. Are hard to break. Beautiful. Mel Gibson, Danny Glover, Joe Pesci, Rene Russo, and Chris Rock.
We're not too old for this.
Lethal Weapon 4, a Richard Donner film, rated R. Starts Friday, July 10th.
You should call Best Buy the Daddy Store, because he loves it. At the Daddy Store, they beam down movies from outer space on this big TV. I want a speaker to eat. All daddies go to the Daddy Store, and Super Dad flies around and gets super brains for computers and software and music.
Where daddies go for super stuff. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
And a spaceship comes down, and the alligators get out, and they all eat hot dogs, and then when you...
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your...
A huge crowd now spilling out onto the streets. Everybody making their way pretty much out of the park. There are just maybe a couple hundred people still hanging around to watch those of us who are still working this show. But Phil Jackson was the one who termed it the last dance, and he really telegraphed that, and early on in the season, that this would be the last dance for this team. And he said as much again today at this rally. Let's give a listen to what Phil said.
About a year ago, this last month, Jerry Reinsdorf called me and asked me, did I think we could do it again? I said yes. I believed in these guys. All these guys could come back and do this again. I believed in them, and I thank him for that opportunity. Thank you, Jerry. And I want to thank Jerry Krause for giving us the opportunity to do it. He had another plan, but he put it aside. Thanks, Jerry. I want to thank the co-captains of this team, Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Yeah, they were the heart and souls of this this championship run. Without Scotty coming back, we never would have got it done. And Michael loaded us up on his shoulders and carried us home. And this was our last dance, and it was a wonderful waltz. Thank you all.
The Zen Meister, Coach Phil
Well,
Jackson.
that's the closest thing, Linda, to a definitive statement today. This was the last
This
dance.
was.
No question it was the last dance for Phil Jackson.
He was very gracious thanking the two Jerrys, but then the one time this crowd expressed its disapproval was when he said Jerry Krause.
And as they've done in the past couple of years, Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause staying way off camera. I guess they were back in there somewhere. Well, sure, they're just lightning rods right now. They have nothing to gain by standing in front of this crowd, which would, of course, be very angry if they didn't bring everybody back. And I think everybody's now resolved that Phil Jackson is gone.
And
Michael and Scotty can live with that. It's just a matter of who's going to be the new coach.
Let's talk a little bit more about that when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
Chrysler and Plymouth announces the owner's bonus sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $2,000 on Plymouth Neon, save $1,500 on Chrysler Cirrus, and save $1,500 on Chrysler Sebring Coupe and $500 on Sebring Convertible. And when you choose our low APR rates, you still get the extra $500 owner's bonus. The Chrysler and Plymouth owner's bonus sale. For a limited time only at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
This is about the magic that happens when you put together the word Disney and the word animals. We had a cow pasture, and now we have this.
One thing that amazes me as you walk through this park is you hear people discovering things. You want the guests to feel like they're in Africa.
This is the river. It's going to go over this way. There's the tree. It comes up over there.
If Disney's about dreamers, American Express is about facilitating those dreams. White Glove Vacation Packages help card members make the most of Animal Kingdom.
The ideas that touch your heart and inspire your mind, they stick.
The feeling of accomplishment is overwhelming.
Just a wonderful garden of opportunities for adventure.
And American Express helps you get there. No matter what you do, no matter where you go.
Experience White Glove Vacations in Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Call for this free brochure or to book today. 1-800-AXP-4000. Even in the wild, American Express helps you do more.
Daddy's making a sale. You see that?
Now you try. It's easy.
Ta-da!
The tangy zip of Miracle Whip.
It's very nice.
Now available in Squeeze. Good news. The tangy zip of Miracle Whip now available in Squeeze.
Grant Park is quickly clearing out after this huge celebration today. We want to tell you, if you are waiting for the Young and the Restless, we are about to wrap up our coverage of today's celebration, so stay tuned because Young and the Restless is coming up in just a few minutes.
And the crowd, I see a lot of youth out there, but they don't seem to be too restless right now. I think they're ready to get out of here, but they're taking their time. Mike Parker.
We're the restless ones.
That's true. Mike Parker is out with the people right now. Let's send it out to Mike.
You mentioned a few people still kind of hanging around, not quite ready to go yet. We've got a couple of them here with us now. Mary from Waukegan and Ella, also from Waukegan. Now, Ella, you were saying that the two Jerrys have a lot to think about now. You're convinced of that, right?
Yes, I am very convinced. They need to think about this very carefully because this is a wonderful team and they have monetary value is not an issue, so they should think positive and keep this team together. We don't want to have a last dance anymore, and I know Phil doesn't really mean that. He wants to come back.
You don't think he means it?
No, I think Phil's want to come back. He'll be coach for the Bulls again and go for number 7.
Now, this is not your first championship celebration, right?
That is correct. No, it's not. It's my 5th one.
How's this compare to the other ones in Grant Park?
It is just awesome. It's just unreal because last year I didn't get an opportunity to make it, so this is my year. And it has just been the bomb because the Bulls are awesome. And I feel strongly that they're going to be together again.
I hope you're right. Mary, this is your first time here at Grant Park for one of these, right? What do you think?
Well, I think it's really great. I'm really thankful to God that I had the opportunity to be here and share with everybody in the celebration.
Bulls are quite impressive and inspirational, even, aren't they?
Very, very. I love them.
All right, Mary, Ella, thank you both very much. And fellas, before I throw it back to you, there's an unconfirmed rumor that in order to clean out this place after everybody's gone, they're going to bring in a giant grass Zamboni. So we'll be keeping an eye out for that just in case it happens.
Love those Zambonis.
Incidentally, before we go to break, we need to apologize to Dennis Rodman. We did not see him, I do anyway, I didn't see him up at the Berto Center. Thought he might be a no-show, and it turns out that mystery Range Rover that got into the caravan turned out to be Rodman. In typical dramatic fashion, he makes a late entry, and then he was here.
His attire was very atypical, though. It was very subdued.
But lobbing in an expletive,
Right.
that was very predictable.
Oh,
we
yeah.
knew
He
Rodman.
got one
He
at
does
the
that
beginning.
for shock value. Hey, you know, he just throws out a vulgarity to get the crowd realizing it's Dennis.
And then you wonder what's coming after that first one. That's the part that has you on the edge of your seat, right?
We'll be right back after this.
Chrysler and Plymouth announces the owner's bonus sale. These unbeatable savings are also extended to all GM and Ford owners. Select customers save $1,750 on America's lowest priced minivan, Plymouth Voyager, $2,000 on Plymouth Grand Voyager, or $2,000 on the ultimate minivan, Chrysler Town & Country. And when you choose our low 1.9% APR, you still get the extra $1,000 owner's bonus for a limited time at your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer.
You should call Best Buy the Daddy Store, because he loves it. At the Daddy Store, they beam down movies from outer space on this big TV. I want a speaker to eat. All daddies go to the Daddy Store, and Super Dad flies around and gets super brains for computers and software and music.
Where daddies go for super stuff. Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
And a spaceship comes down, and the alligators get out, and the alligator hot dog, and then when he...
You'll flip over the savings at Menards. We've got a great selection of gas and charcoal grills from Sunbeam. This 24,000 BTU gas grill is $88. This 35,000 BTU gas grill with side burner, $149. Save on a great selection of swing sets and accessories from Hedstrom, all on sale. This swing seat is $4.99. Enjoy summertime savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Victoria's cool, Victoria's hot. This lady's got style no one else has got. Come out for a walk, she'll bring out a smile like no one else can. She's more than a cut above all the rest. Come on, live it up, won't you be her guest? Victoria's grand.
For the time of your life, anytime you want, come to the Grand Victoria Casino.
She's #1 for a reason.
Victoria's grand.
It has been an amazing morning, an amazing run. This is 6. This may or may not be the last dance, as everyone's been talking about. Your thoughts as we say goodbye?
Well, I know that everybody's walking out of here and everybody's watching on television. It has that aura of uncertainty. I mean, we've really loved this, and are we going to experience it again? And that almost like makes it like even a little more intense, Howard, if you know what I mean. I went out with this fabulous-looking woman, and I might be able to see her again. I'm really not sure, and so... Baby, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I might do it again.
You've been up too long, pal.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, I hope that none of that has ruined, you know, any of this for anybody. I mean, you got to enjoy all the championships that the team has won, but they have earned the right to come back and at least take a crack at it again. There's no question about that.
I think we are all so grateful to what we've been through with them and what they've brought to us. And we're also grateful to you for having joined us through this morning. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, another peaceful celebration in which Chicago does itself proud. We did Sunday night and we did again here today at the Grant Park Fest. So thank you so much.
And it's a great source of pride for the city of Chicago, which has kind of grown up with the Bulls. And I think as a civic area, we feel like winners.
It makes you proud. It makes you proud that everybody shows the rest of the country that you know, we know how to behave and we know how to celebrate and all that stuff.
Sweet home Chicago.
God bless you all out there. Thanks for being with us.
We'll see you later.
Good night.
This has been a News 2 Chicago special report. Here's to the Bulls, and here's to 6. Brought to you by Best Buy and your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Hi, I'm Mariette Hartley for Eddie Z's Express Blinds, and this week we're having a huge blind sale.
Not just any blind sale, Mariette, because this week it's buy one, get one free. Select verticals, buy one, get one free. Symphony honeycomb shades, buy one, get one free. Even Hunter Douglas light line minis and country wood blinds, all buy one, get one free. And if you shop at home, you'll get an extra $50 rebate. Call 1-800-4BLINDS now.
Eddie Z's. Nobody does blinds and drapery better. Nobody.
Are you or someone you love in need of a wheelchair? We have lightweight, easy-to-lift wheelchairs, electric wheelchairs, and three-wheel scooters. As a participating Medicare supplier, we accept insurance assignment on wheelchairs and most other types of medical equipment. We even have an electric wheelchair that folds up and goes in the back of the car. For medical equipment made easy, dial this toll-free number now and let the experts help you. You may qualify to get the equipment you want through your medical insurance.
When you're busy, sometimes you can't answer every call. Boy, could you use a receptionist.
Mr. Kenneth Markey calling.
Take a number.
I'm Maxwell Moore.
I'm busy.
Well, instead of hiring a receptionist,
A Miss Kate Turner call. Twice.
get something better from Ameritech. Did you say Katie? Order caller ID now and you'll get a free display unit and free shipping and handling. Everything you need to make the most of your time.
News to Chicago. Take another look.
We now join our regular scheduled programming already in progress.
BS. When Fran's in the house, there's never a dull moment.
It's time to get bomb biggity.
You go, girl. The Nanny. Then this big city girl has gone country.
There's nothing about us that screams bumpkin.